Okay, we're back. We're in. Today we're in much later than usual, but well, we're gonna try our best to get the things done that I wished to get done. All right, and I will explain that in just a moment, and why I'm here at this location right now. And hey there, Cito. Hey there. Late stream. Everything has gone awry, but it's okay. So, okay, here's what I wanted to get done, right? So I got White Mage up to 41. It's almost 42. So I have the original 3 teleport spells, right? But I don't have Teleport Altep or Teleport Yote, which is the jungle and the desert, right? I need to get those because it has already come up where I've been in a party as a White Mage and the party wanted to go to Yotor, right? Well, guess who didn't have the teleport? So yeah, I gotta rectify that situation. Sorry, yeah, I'm very sorry. Kind of forgot that we had some things to do this morning. We had some business to attend to. And right now, both of us are kind of a little bit under the weather. I think the wife more so than me, but we're both not really, we're both a little sick, right? So we were exceptionally slow to get everything done, to wake up and all of that. Again, I'm still sluggish myself, but I'm very caffeinated. I got lots of sugar in me. I'm packed full of drugs, right? But I'm good to go. However, yeah, it took a little longer than expected. I wanted to get started much sooner. I always feel bad though whenever when I very clearly make a statement that I am going to be here at this time. I feel very bad when I have to break that. But tried to get in as quick as I could. Well, I mean, usually I'd still be going at this point, right? I'd still be going normally at this point. Also, today is a weird one because today, I missed, because we both got really sick suddenly. But yeah, because I missed yesterday's stream, we're gonna push all, the only thing I really wanted to do, for sure, is finish Bad Mojo, and I don't think that'll take too long. I don't think it's a very long game. So, this evening, we're gonna have a second stream where we finish that off, right? I feel like we could probably beat it in... It's gonna be under 3 hours. I feel under 3 hours, because I think we're already quite a ways through it. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of the season to be sick, I guess. It's sort of the season for it. But again, I'm already bouncing back fairly well. I think the wife got it worse than me this time. Usually I'm the one that gets it worse, but this time I'm doing all right. However, also, before we get started, because this is the quest guy right here. Before we get started, yeah, other life things. Oh man, Halloween's coming up, and I kind of forgot about it. I'll admit, I kind of forgot about Halloween. It's not really a thing here. That's the thing. Some people like to do Halloween. Kids who are more internationally aware. They like to do Halloween because candy, but Halloween is not a holiday here. It's not a thing. It's only a thing for some people, and we're those some people, right? So we're gonna do something for Halloween, but we kind of need some things for that. We have to get ready for it, and also I wanted to import some candy corn. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's her favorite holiday, but. Again, we're the exception. We're the exception. And yeah, I get the Monday mood. I mean, honestly, Monday is, it's kind of our sluggish day no matter what. right? Like, no matter what, Monday's always a slug day. But, okay, real quick thing about candy corn. So, the candy corn I wanted was specifically the Brock's candy corn. And they make, like, it's like, it's like a marshmallow sugar thing with honey. And I really want the autumn mix, because I used to love that, right? So that's the one I specifically want, but I mean, I'd take any candy corn. So here's the thing. First thing I did was I looked on Amazon to, like, okay, how much does it cost to import a bag of candy corn? And Amazon wanted me to pay a fucking 51 euro import on that. 51 euros for a bag of candy corn. So that was a big no. A very big no. However, I did some more searching, and there's various like American importer stores here that just specialize in importing American candies and stuff like that, right? We found one that will import candy corn, amongst other things. They have a lot of goodies on there that I want. But their candy corn, to get the Brock's candy corn, the autumn mix, it is about 15 euros for one singular bag that's about 560 grams, right? Now that is a steep ass price, considering, I don't know, when I used to get that stuff way back, I think they were only like $2 a bag. So 15 euro is quite a steep price, but it's a lot better than 51, right? That's a whole lot better. So yeah, I'm getting my candy corn. I'm getting my candy corn. I don't know what it is, but the Brock's specifically, that brand of candy corn, it's really good. Like, it has a legit good taste and texture. Like, yeah, it has like a very marshmallowy, like a marshmallow honey taste, right? It's actually, I remember it being good, and I'm hoping they still are good. They better be good for $15. Ugh, so there's my rant about candy corn. I crave it. But yeah, it's not the really cheap shitty candy corn that I want. That's not what I want. It's that Brock's autumn mix. That's where it's at. I mean, I'm from the U.S. I'm from the U.S. and that's why I have quite a craving for candy corn, right? But yeah, now we're, here in Germany, so unfortunately there is no candy corn to go around here unless you import it in some form. I don't like one thing I could do is I could bug my relatives, because we, like, every now and then, like usually once a year, we do a bit of a kind of a goods exchange, right? Where like they really like even the basic German chocolates and coffees and stuff. They love it, absolutely love it, and it's like it's not expensive to buy here. So I just put together like a little box of that and send it to them, and sometimes they send us some things. I really don't want to bug them though. Like, please send 10 kilos of candy corn, right? I don't want to bug them about that, but yeah. Well, you'd think, Leors. Oh, hey there. Oh, Raiders. Yeah, you'd think. My German's not the best, I'll admit, but see, the luck out is that everybody speaks better English here than I do. That's the thing. Honestly, Germans speak better English than the average American. I'm gonna be straight here. They know more words. That's something I kind of learned is, man, like American English only uses like maybe 100,000 words. I looked it up, and German, the average commonly used word count, like still in circulation, it's in the millions. It's in the fucking millions. I feel like a caveman in comparison. But hey there, raiders. I was just getting started actually. We're kind of just getting warmed up still, about to do some teleport quests, but just bantering about life before getting started, you know. And yeah, every German will always apologize for the bad English, but no, like they speak more articulately than the average Virginian. All right, that's what I'll say. But I mean, look, I'll German with you sometime if you want. It's just I think mainly it's I need to brush up my vocabulary, right? I need to vocabulary, also grammar. God, I can never. I know the grammar, I can just never remember conjugations. You know, the gender conjugations on everything, I tend to mix those up, because that's a hard concept to really get, you know? But mainly it's a confidence thing, you know? I'm like, oh man, I'm not saying this right, uh-oh. Second guessing. But anyway. So life stuff aside, starting the stream way too late aside. Look, I am thoroughly caffeinated, and also I've had like a whole white chocolate Toblerone bar. So man, I got a sugar high. I'm good to go. I am ready to get quests done today. And also, once we get this started, I want to mention I got all the spells. I got all the spells from Beadu, and man, it blew my mind when I checked on the price of some of that stuff. All right. Let's get started here. We can continue to banter, but I wanna get this done, and I know what's coming with this quest, right? I know what's coming with this one, so we'll have plenty time to banter. All right, here we go. Rotinalt. So this is for the teleport Yote scroll. Ooh, I didn't proper cutscene. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into it here. All right. I am a missionary from the Sandoria Cathedral. I'll never say Sandoria correct. I am here to teach the savages of this untamed land the true value of life and salvation in the light of the goddess Altana. These cat girl savages. However, these uncivilized brutes will not listen to a word I say. Oh, how they mock me and my teachings. From what I've been able to gather, these primitive women believe that Vanadil itself is their goddess. In all my travels, I've never come across a race so stubborn as these Mithra. They will not try listening to my sermon. However, after sleepless nights of prayer, Altana finally granted me with a vision, a method of how to trick these savages into listening. Well, this sounds like a great idea. But to fulfill the goddess's wishes, I require an extremely rare ore, obtained only by defeating terrible monsters living in that hellish jungle out there. For the sake of these ignorant Mithra, would you be so kind as to retrieve a slab of Elshimo marble from the Utunga jungle for me? Alright, let's do it. Man, I love Sandoria. I thank you for your time. Your kindness will not go unrewarded. Let the goddess be your light of hope on this perilous journey. Oh man, it's time to enlighten some savage cat girls. Yeah. See, I know what's coming for this quest, right? I helped Lily get that marble, and man, that took a while. So, Right, yeah, I know all about this one. And yeah, he's not trying to save the Tarus, but well, this is, to be fair, this is the Mithra. It's the Mithra homeland, right? We're in the jungle here. But I love it with this idea to trick them into worshipping the goddess, right? This sounds completely ethical and like something a hero should do. So let's get to it. Well, but before I do, I just wanted to show something real quick. Okay, because, okay, for the last couple streams, you know, I've been working on my Black Mage spells, right? Getting that money and whatnot. Well, I do have a little more. I did a lot of hard fishing, right? And I bought more spells, so I had more money than this. But I got a little more. I'm not in danger of falling under 3 million. However, the other thing I did is I went ahead and I got all of the spells, right? I got every single spell that I need as a Black Mage in Beadu. And I got Flash, too, for White Mage. Now, not all the spells are worth a lot, but... oh no. But, okay, so I went ahead and I made my alt, right? I made an off-stream alt, because I love all you guys, but I very frequently just get tells out of nowhere, just striking up a conversation, and I'm fine with that, or someone wanting help, and again, I'm down for that, but it's just that at times it can be a little bit overwhelming. So I made an alt that's just, it's, you know, unknown to the stream. It's just for funsies, playing around sometimes. Not gonna play it too often, but mainly it's gonna be my storage alt, right? Mainly that. So I traded all of the rare scrolls off to the alt, so now I can farm more. I can get more. And here's why, right? Like, it was very worth it to farm those scrolls, because let me show you what some of them are actually worth. And no, not a Taru, although I will make I want to do a hardcore Taru warrior or monk. I want to do that for the stream. Alright, we'll get to that eventually. And hey there, Zuna. Just getting started. And loot, Paladin. I mean, I want to go up Paladin eventually. I want to, but Flash is also a White Mage spell, so I got it for White Mage. Alright, so let's see, the things I got, right? So Water 3 isn't expensive, but I got a Scroll of Water 4. That's 90,000 gil. I also got, well, when I was with Lily, we got Waterga 2, and that's a 70, that scroll is worth 70k, right? So I actually managed to snag a Scroll of Waterga 3, right? I actually got one. It is worth anywhere from, like, around 100 to 110,000 gil. Also, I got a Scroll of Flood. Flood is worth about 70, you know, 65 to 70,000 gil. I saved myself hundreds of thousands of gil by farming Beadu, and while I was farming there, those Quadavs, they drop between like 150 and 200 gil per kill, so I actually just got a lot of money killing them. They do drop other things, and I did treasure coffers while I was there. So it was actually fairly profitable, even aside from the spell scrolls. It's super fucking dangerous, though. I'll say that right now. It is very dangerous. It's easy to kind of get distracted and die in there, but you know, if you can do it, then it's good money. Oh, nice, Zuna. Just getting everything unlocked already. Man, that's a fast server. I have no idea how Dancer works though, because, you know, Dancer was after my time. Like, I'm not even familiar with the Treasures of Ot Ergen classes. Like, I'm not even really familiar with those. I really did only play during the Zalart and briefly Promathia era back in the day. I wasn't around after that. I was playing City of Heroes or EverQuest 2 at that point. But I will be curious when they eventually hit this server, how they play out. Also, oh, I don't need a chocobo. So we need to kill lizards. Lots and lots of lizards. And I mean, they're all over the jungle. They're literally everywhere in the jungle. There's one specific spot that's way better than most to farm them at, but we'll kill all the lizards along the way too. Not really worth it to take a chocobo. So yeah, the lizard spot is over here on the west side of the cliff at Gemini Falls, which I think I have to go down here, kind of go south and up around, but there's lizards on the way. And who knows, maybe I'll get lucky, right? Right? Yeah, that's what I've heard, is that Dancer is like an offensive healer class. But, oh hey look, a party out there. Nice to see him. I guess an offensive healer, to me, I just think, like, isn't that what... isn't that what Red Mage should have been? But I don't know, people do seem to like Dancer, people who have tried it. I'd have to try it out myself to know. And yeah, I'd say just, you know, make your own experiences. That is the way to do it. I kind of do that every time I do a weird sub-job combination in, you know, on Horizon, so...
Off to work I go. Be nice to the floor.
Oh, there's the wife. And there's a cat on the chair behind me, too. Okay, here we go. Some lizards, just right here. This'll
I'm killing the lizards again.
Now I need the marble, so yeah.
The wife does not approve.
No. Though they still look more like T-Rexes, I think. With big heads. Like, I don't know. Because they got little baby arms.
They look like T-Rexes that were kind of crunched together on the x-axis. They're too short.
No. No. And Leora, no, this is not the wife's kind of game. I've tried, but it's not her type of thing. Alright. So, where'd my rabbit go? Where'd my rabbit go?
This is kind of turn-based, right?
Well, it's just slow. It's a slow game. So, you know. It's not turn-based, but it's slow.
Well, that kind of, I mean, you don't stand right in front of the monster and it can still hit you, stuff like that.
No, it's real time still. It's just, you know, like, hands off, you'll auto-attack, but you can do stuff too. I don't know. I figure it's not her kind of game, though. So.
Like, I remember with 14, it was no matter where you stand, the things you fight can still attack you, even though you're not being hit by the animation.
I think, I don't know if everyone would agree, but I think this one is a little better about that. I mean, if you run away, the enemy still has to be in proximity to you, but like, dodging left or right, they'll always track you. You know
what I mean is, right now, the enemy was attacking your little rabbit thing.
Yeah.
And if it attacks in that direction, it always attacks the little rabbit thing.
Yeah, it's target-based.
It doesn't target the air next to you and still hit you.
No, not unless it does a specifically, like, area attack.
AoE attacks are something different.
Yeah, like, there's cone attacks, all that, but...
Because that was something that annoyed me about 14 just by principle, that no matter where you stand, you get hit.
Well, I guess, to me, I don't make the distinction. It's just like, yeah, everything targets something and they attack the target, but, I guess I don't really get it, the difference there.
The difference is that it's looking at me if it's targeting me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it'll look at what it's targeting, obviously.
Yeah, and 14 didn't do that particularly well.
With the big bosses, no. They just sort of... A lot of the big bosses in 14, I remember they just sort of do their thing.
And you get hit no matter where.
Yeah. So, okay. Alright, little interjection there. Oh, also, hey there, UL. Surprised to see you this early. Yeah, we got Viking raided. Ugh. I'm just out here in the jungle, just trying to get my marble. We kind of had a late start to things today, so just getting to it now. But I think what you can take away from the wife's interjection there is that she likes games like Monster Hunter, Dark Souls, which I like Dark Souls, but I'm not so big on Monster Hunter. But I think she likes a game that's a lot more, I don't know, action-y, a lot more dynamic in the physics of things, I think. She likes her fluid combat. I think something like this probably wouldn't really be her thing. She has played Elden Ring, and she doesn't like it as much as Dark Souls. She generally thinks it's worse. The screenshot, I mean, I saw the last one, the space one. I don't know if there's been more, but, I mean, it looked interesting. It's one of those not 100% sure what I'm looking at, but it looks interesting. Alright, working my way south here. Oh, hey. Exiled Lunarian. Good name on him. Good name on him. God, I hate this jungle. It's a goddamn maze. So, okay, I need to go south here. I don't think I want to go down there. Like, I don't think I want to be there. But I don't know. Hey, look. You know what? I could try, right? I honestly haven't really... I will admit, I have not really tried to get the wife in on this one. I've tried to get her to play some of the other games, like the other old school MMOs and stuff that I play, but visually she just never... Like, she doesn't like games that have more abstract visuals, which older games tend to have that. This game, I feel like this could be contemporary enough, and the graphics were just done so well at the time. She might not have that issue. But, I've never really tried to get her in on this one. I mean, we could try, and I don't know, at least for... maybe have her pop in for a stream or something, I don't know. We could see what we could get going. It's just in general, I think we, while we are both big, huge nerds, we're kind of big, huge nerds in different ways, and we tend to have very wildly different tastes in games. Dunna she's never played any of the Silent Hill games. She's watched them be played, but she hasn't played any of them personally. I know. Oh my god, a hardcore character duo. See, I wouldn't do that with her though. Like literally, she has never touched a Final Fantasy game in her life. And I don't think she would. She's also never played an old school MMO like this either, right? So I don't think she'd have a lot of fun doing the hardcore challenge. I don't think that would be a good time. Just breaking Sito over here. Also, I hope I'm going the right way. It's so easy to get turned around in this jungle. I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of games that she's played that I haven't. Like, I mean, she's a huge fan of like the Devil May Cry games, which I know for the type of game they are, they're kind of considered a classic, right? But you know, I never got into that. I never got into any of those. Also, I think I'm going the wrong way. I think I'm yeah, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to the zone line right now. So let me back this up and turn around. We are off course right now. And yeah, UL, the Starflight streams are getting intense now. Like we're actually stumbling on a plot in that game now. And the plot and some of the things that we've encountered, I know that the game it's kind of patterning itself off of like Star Trek, right? And it's also, I mean, there's a lot of just space sandbox elements in there that's very interesting, but what I find it's kind of bordering into, plot-wise, narratively, more than anything, it's weirdly enough Mass Effect. Like, it's kind of becoming Mass Effect 1989, which I wasn't anticipating that. And Arising, Wyvern, I mean, what do you need help with? Like, go check out the Horizon website. It's all right there. Pretty easy and straightforward to get into. Only thing that's a little weird is character creation. Like, they disable character creation in the game, and you do it on their website, because they have some additional, like, customization features. Which, it's a little awkward, but I mean, it's fine. Also, I'm missing... Hold up. I'm getting so into that, I completely missed this ivory lizard back here. I'm trying to make my way to the good spot to farm them, but... You know... Kill along the way, right? Get those kills in. Ah, gear switching. I gotta admit, I'm not very good at gear switching, right? I'm terrible at it. Like... I only have very, very, very basic gear switching macros, and I'll admit, like, I only even started switching my gear out at level 75. Like, I didn't do it at all up until I max leveled, right? But to be fair, I play Beastmaster, and I mean, Beastmaster, you can play the game naked if you want, right? Like, it don't matter. So I'd say, hey, if you don't like gear switching, actually, play a class that doesn't really depend on that as much. Like, certain classes need to do that much more than others. It's beneficial to every class, but like there's some classes where you kind of need it, and then others you can get away with not doing it. But yeah, I played Beastmaster all the way up to 75, both solo and in parties, and I never had to switch my gear once, right? I never had to. My gear wasn't the best either, but I never switched gear even once. But other classes you might want to, you know, okay, so I'm leveling up Black Mage now, right? And for Black Mage, like, as soon as I hit 51 and I get my elemental staffs, yeah, pretty much I'm gonna write every one of my spell macros so that it switches to that staff for that spell. So like, when I cast a fire spell, I'll just write into the macro to equip fire staff, and it'll just do that every time I cast a fire spell. And then do that for every element, right? That's the thing I'll want to do as a Black Mage. Like, that's what I mean. Some classes are much more switch dependent, and others aren't. Yeah, like, the thing is that, for me, getting into gear switching was not, like, it's still not comfortable. I don't like the idea of doing it, but I've gotten, like, since I hit 75, and I've experimented with it more, it's not so bad. Like, there's simplified ways to do it. But yeah, see, now that I'm a little more comfy with it, like, yeah, I'll do it for Black Mage. No, but like, okay, to give you an example of just the super simple macros I have as like a Beastmaster, right? So this is I only have 2 equipment changing macros, right? D set, equip set 005, and then it just tells me that it equips it, right? And then C set, equip set 004, and then yeah. So what that does, right, is it calls up these equipment sets, these 2 right here. So whenever I hit the button, it just switches all my gear out to this, right? So this is my charm set, which it's my Beastmaster artifact gear plus charisma gear, things that enhance my pet. That kind of, it's pet related stuff, right? So when I hit the button, it just auto equips all that shit, and it's just on, and I can do what I need to do with it. And then when I'm done with that, I hit the D-set button, and then that switches me out to my strength and dexterity gear, right? Like, this is all strength and dex. Things to make me hit hard and crit hard. But, like, that's it, right? Like, that is as complex as it gets for me as a Beastmaster. I don't even need to do that, really. Like, as a Beastmaster, you can get away with a lot. But, you know, other classes, it's gonna get more complicated, right? Like, technically, okay, so let's take Black Mage, right? Technically, no, you don't have to change out your staffs for every spell you cast. You don't have to do that, but it'll make you better if you do, right? That's the way to look at it. But I think, yeah, I think the thing is that A, it depends on what you're doing. Like, if you're not doing like super high-end intense raiding, if you're not doing that, your average just EXP party or whatever, I'm gonna be blunt, most parties I get into, even the good ones, half the players are either inattentive, they're half AFK, the white mage is literally just asleep most of the time. Like, your average party they're just playing non-optimally anyway, so if you're not playing optimally, it's just gonna kind of blur together with everything else, right? If everyone else is in Netflix and chill mode, no one's really gonna notice or care. But if you're doing more intense activities, then it is beneficial to give that extra 110%. That's really the best way I'd put it. Again, I've been in parties where literally half the group just died because no one noticed there was a second monster attacking us. For like 3 minutes. 3 minutes, one at a time, everybody was just dropping dead, and no one noticed. So, that's about the average party. Yeah, don't fucking worry about it, right? Don't worry about it. I think some people get really intense, some people really care, but your average just EXP party generally doesn't. Again, it just depends on what you're doing. And it's not even high-level stuff. Like, again, a high-level EXP party, like a high-level EXP or 75 merit party, again, that is casual play. It just depends. And also, I will admit, look, as a white mage, I have had moments where things got really boring and nobody needed healing, so I just sort of, it's like, let's just open up that window with, with YouTube, and then oh shit, everybody's in the red. I admit, I've had those moments, okay? Everybody does. I think one of the things that can put people off of this game is there are a lot of very intense veteran players, and they can really be intimidating to the point they scare new players away. But don't let them do that, alright? Things aren't that intense all the time. If I have any half-decent advice, that would be it. Don't let them intimidate you. Yeah, again, like the gear switching thing it still kind of scares me a little, but I didn't get into it until way later. And the thing is, you don't have to, even if you're a class like Black Mage that will want to switch gear, you don't really have to do that early on. There's not really any gear to switch into early on. Like, as a Black Mage, so right now as a Black Mage, I don't do any gear swaps at all. None. I'm not going to until I hit 51 and I have to worry about staffs, right? And then later on, I might want to, you know, once I get like the Vermilion Cloak, you know, I'm gonna want to make a set that's more about MP regen in downtime. But yeah, like all of that is, it's all things that come later, you know? All things that come much later. Oh god, it... Pet, fight something. Like, my pet's just standing there. It's just standing there. There we go. It was just kind of stuck for a second. Can I do one more move here? No. I feel like I wasted a move somewhere along the way. Okay, here we go. Finish him off. Finish him off. Alright, that's the first run of lizards, and we got no marbles, right? Yeah, no marble. So we just do that again and again, till we get the marble. Again, I'd say you don't have to. Like even Black Mage, right? So the reason that you'd want to, like, the reason I'd want to switch, like, staffs is because, you know, each elemental staff, it gives, like, a 10% potency boost and some accuracy to the elemental spell of choice, right? So, you know, naturally, the absolute best thing I could do would be to switch staffs for each element. The thing is, you could just equip the Ice Staff. Like, the Ice Staff is, like, the Ice Staff gives a fairly large boost to elemental skill, which would have a similar effect. So you could just equip that and just call it a day. Like, it's not necessary. And I would say for casual play, for, you know, just doing your story missions, doing EXP parties, merit parties, you don't need to do these things. You don't need to do the switching. It's not going to make or break a party. It's just if you want to do the best you can, if you want to really stand out, you know, if you want to be that extra 110%, then yeah, you know, you eventually want to figure a comfortable way for you to do macros and equipment switches. But don't worry about it. And also, it's not that hard either. Like, again, I showed you my macro to change my gear out, and like right now I have my DPS gear on, right? Like, look, it's just one button push, and then boom, see, it's there, right? So I can hit that button, and then, I don't know, give my pet a biscuit or something, because it gets bonuses from that, and then there we go, DPS set, and I'm right back. It's not, like, once you know what to do, it's really not bad. It's just intimidating initially. But I'd say don't let it stop you from getting into the game. Like, don't let it do that. It's okay. Alright, I wanna try to build up a little TP. I wanna have enough TP that I can do a spinning scythe, you know, to apply Treasure Hunter to all these enemies that I'm gonna be fighting. Got a little into it and focus there, but yeah, one thing that always gets me is, yeah, I don't like to see some veteran players or veteran play styles. I don't like to see that chase potential, you know, people who really want to get into the game and are more fresh. I don't like to see that chase them away, you know? Yeah, I mean, if you really want to min-max, then yes, gear swapping is, like, it is a min-max thing. But I'd say, like, the way to play it is, it's gonna take you a long-ass time to get up to the levels where gear swapping is kind of more common. So, you know, take that time to really get very familiar with the game and its systems and your character, feel out your playstyle, like, use that time leading up to the more important stuff to feel things out. And then, you know, and then once you're ready, get into making macros. It's more of sort of a end optimization thing than anything else. But yeah, otherwise, this game is actually fairly relaxed. Otherwise. And also, don't be intimidated by all the, like, you know, all the people leveling up alt jobs and stuff who they've got, like, the best of the best rare gear and shit. Like, don't worry about them, right? yeah, they're flaunting it, but you'll do just fine. That is another issue. It's also very easy to get intimidated by, you know, players who've been around a long time and have just been hoarding, you know, very, very good equipment at all level ranges. And yeah, arising, it's all in-game commands. I know that there's external things you could use too, but yeah, like, it's just, you know, like I said, it's on my macro bar, right? Like, it's all in-game, and it's very easy to set up in-game. And also, yeah, levels is the main thing. So here's, like, as a Beastmaster, this is something I learned very quickly, right? As a Beastmaster, I can literally just take all my gear off right now, and I will kill things almost as quickly as I am now. And that's mainly because the damage comes out of my pet and not me, right? But even then, it's all about levels, and just by virtue of being significantly higher level than these enemies, I just destroy them no matter what. Like, the level difference is the main thing. But this isn't 2003. Most groups don't fight, like, they don't try to fight enemies that are like 15 levels higher than them. Groups tend to go for speed instead of big EXP number. So even then, it's not so bad. I mean, with Beastmaster, I'm Thief all the way. I have White Mage, sometimes I use White Mage, sometimes I use Ninja, but I like Thief the most, and it's because here, Pilfer's Earring, plus 3% crit rate. And then all my rings and stuff are all for dex. I love having a very high crit rate. I absolutely love that. Also, it's really good when you're solo, because you make a lot of money. Like, soloing as a Beastmaster makes money. You don't lose it. Also, UL, I mean, are there any video essays on Starflight? Because when I looked around the internet, honestly, not that many people actually seem to say much about Starflight in general. Like, it seems to be one of the rarer games that people have actually played to completion. Oh no, I might be one of the few. Vexus, we're still gonna do spook games. We're gonna do them, but for the evening, alright? So, this stream will end, like, more or less at its normal time, but we're gonna do a second stream later today, and we're gonna finish Bad Mojo. Alright, that's the big thing. Because things didn't quite pan out right, we're only gonna do that, but we're finishing that game. I really want to finish that game. That is still one of the absolute strangest games I've ever seen, but I am fascinated by it. Alright, so I feel like I missed some lizards, but I'm just kind of doing a final pass here to collect them all. Yeah, here we go, I missed one. What level are these? They're 33, yeah. So of course, they just get destroyed. And Vexus, I've seen some stuff. He does a lot of MMO stuff. Kind of in the same wheelhouse, so. Alright, here we go. Spinning Scythe! Oh yeah, another reason I love Scythe is because, yeah, it's the only fucking weapon I can use that has an AoE attack, which is great when you need to apply Treasure Hunter to a large group of enemies. I just wasted my Whirl Claws. I just wasted it. Like, oh god, I wasted it again. The problem is the enemies are just dying so fast. Like, they're dying faster than I can command the pet. So, okay then. I guess we're doing this the slow way. Huh. Oh no, we got rants in here. And sorry, I'm trying to keep track of everyone, but I'm also trying to like get my marble here. Trying to get me marbles. Well, single marble. And it's not a marble, it's like marble stone. But yeah, like you want to know, like I can literally show you right now. It's as simple as well, okay, there's two things, right? I already showed my very simple equipment set macro, right? Like, what I'm using right now just to change between charm set and damage set. Literally, this is it, right? This equips every piece of strength and dex gear I own. Is just 2 lines, right? It's just equip set 05, and then echo, and this is, you don't even need the second line. The second line is just, it just notifies me that I've done it, right? It's not necessary. So 1 line, there you go. That's all you need, and then that calls up the equipment set that you've already saved. And then for more specific things like I don't know. So I have some macros just to use items, like my treat staff, right? And this just uses an item, but you can do the same thing, right? So you could take, like, instead of /item, it's like /equip. And it's just 1 line, right? You just add 1 line, like equip piece of equipment, and then yeah, so it's not hard. It's really not. It's not hard. It's not complex. Don't be scared by it. It's also just not something you have to do, and it's not something you'll even want to do and for quite a while. Like, it'll take you a while till you even have equipment that's really worth switching to. Like, I guarantee you're not gonna have anything worth switching to till at least like 30. So if you want to do like the late game, I guess I don't know. I haven't even gotten into that, right? Like I haven't even done Dynamis yet. Though my understanding of Dynamis is that it's kind of a blob fest, right? Because it's like dozens of people, so it's kind of a Zerg rush, right? So in that case, I highly doubt anyone would even notice. But so far, I haven't needed any, like, I haven't needed to do any switching. It'd be nice, right? Like, again, with Black Mage, it would be nice, but I haven't needed it. Yeah, and oh yeah, like, switching to, I could see doing that. Like, if you're a thief, because, you know, sneak attack, trick attack, that uses dexterity and agility primarily. Switching, like, the equipment to that when you do sneak attack would be very beneficial. But you don't necessarily need to. You could just sort of build a set of gear that is sort of a compromise and does everything okay, you know? Like, it's not necessary. I think mainly just don't stress about it, right? If you want to, if you really want to min-max, you're kind of ahead of the curve already, because most players don't really seem to care that much. So you're already ahead of the curve, right? But yeah, don't stress about it. Do it as you get comfortable doing it. And again, I played all the way to 75 without switching a single thing. Alright, and I need to go back around because lizards in that big bulk group. And no, this is Horizon. Retail is a different matter because retail is a whole ass different game, right? That's a whole different thing. Horizon is the classic game, the old school game. And there's only, this is only up to the, the second expansion, right? There's Zalart Promathia. Third expansion, like, that's coming soon, TM. But this is the more classic experience. Yeah, well, Era Plus. It's classic, but with some revisions to make it a little more tolerable and fun. All right. Well, I'm not seeing any more. Not seeing any more lizards, so I'll just have my pet rest up for a second. All right, have him rest for a sec. I guess I'll rest for a sec too. I have taken a bit of damage. And while I'm at it, draw distance. I need to do something. I might have to set a config file, but I want to just have this be my default standard. So draw distance, set world 2. There we go. Look at that. Oh, you can see through the fog, but the fog is still there. Just right. See, I can see the volcano in the background and everything now. I really need to make that just my default setting, because I don't need a crazy long draw distance, but I like the draw distance to be just twice of what it is normally, right? That's the sweet spot for me. Yeah, I remember I passed by a group a while ago, which is kind of rare to see people in that part of the jungle, honestly. The few jungle parties I've been in, they usually go somewhere out in the middle of the jungle where there's like a camp for bees, or they go to Yotor, but not that many people just kind of hang around in like the hallways of the jungle here. That said, it's not like back in the day where, man, back in the day we used to. Yeah, it was all about those mandies, right? It was all about farming them mandies, but I don't think people really do that so much anymore, if at all. I think generally it's like sheep, right? People don't like to fight enemies in a party that can do sleepga in any form. Alright, so doing the lizard roundup again. Yeah. Yeah, see, I figured that's, you know, that'll do it. Because also, other than sleep, mandies also, they just double attack a lot, right? They can double attack, and that can get nasty. Oh. Well, I guess, hey, if people still doing it, cool. It's just, yeah. People on this server, at least, they tend to gravitate towards a few camps, and they don't really stray from that too much, which is a shame, because there's so many wonderful enemies to encounter and kill. You know, diversify, right? Diversify your murder portfolio. Oh, there we go. Okay, that last lizard didn't want to pull along. But yeah, this is one of those quests, right? Just RNG. Okay, spinning scythe. Now, can I roll claws without wasting it this time? Oh. Well, I guess I'm taking out that tiger now too. I guess. Also, lots of lizard parts drop in here, which is nice, but not what I'm here for. Yeah, I've already got almost a full stack of lizard skin. I'm not really sure how much the lizard skin sells for, but I think it's a decent seller. I think. And the coral meat, I mean, it's not bad either. Yeah, I'm going for that marble slab, because okay, my classes, right, so Here we go. Yeah, I am currently a 41 white mage, so I need my teleport spells, and I'm gonna need the one for Zarkabard too, but I'm gonna wait on that one since I'm not 42 yet, right? But I would like to have the port for the jungle and the desert, so I'm doing those two today. And also, yeah, I would honestly say that like playing on any private server, especially a classic one, is probably a lot more chill than retail. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I think that's sort of the way it is for most games. Like most games, people on the official servers tend to, I don't know, they tend to get really intense and weird, right? But private servers, the general culture of private servers is it's people who just really want to be there and they really want to experience the game in a certain way. So they tend to, you know, they tend to just have fun immersing in the experience of it, and they don't get as weird about the specifics or what people are doing, you know? Just in general. And, I mean, you know, I consider myself, I guess I'm a more mid-range. I consider myself a bit casual, but I'm a more mid-range player. And what I can say is, if you're looking to get through, like, you know, your big story missions and stuff, and hit 75, I mean, all of that will be so much easier and simpler on the official servers. But the question is if it will be as fun or satisfying to you, and that's kind of that's on an individual basis kind of thing right there. For me, like, I wouldn't want to just breeze through my missions. I wouldn't want to just play with robots and just hit 75 when I feel like it. I like the slower pace, right? It can get frustrating sometimes needing a full party of 6 to get certain things done, but it always gets done eventually. You know, like, if you just ask for help, eventually it'll get done. You know, I appreciate that, but it's individual basis there. You know, your mileage may vary. But yeah, but generally speaking, there's usually two things that kind of keep someone playing a game like this. And one is, of course, the game itself. You have to like the game and the gameplay and everything. And, you know, what's more your taste, the old school or the new school, that's on you. But the other thing is the community. And I'm going to be honest, for me at least, the community is, if we're putting some kind of weighting on it, right, I'd say community is maybe 70% of a game to me, and then the other 30% is the actual game, right? And the community of private servers in general tends to just be better than the community of an official game, and it's just sort of a result of the type of people who would play there, and also that it's a smaller community, right? Though I'm not that sure about, like, honestly, Horizon, it's got quite a population to it. I don't know how many people hang around the various retail servers at any given moment anymore, but I feel like they're both fairly small at this point. So again, your mileage may vary. I mean, if you played FF14, but you found yourself enjoying 11 more, well, and that was retail, right? What I can say is your experience on Horizon would be like retail except different, and everything is slower. There's no robots, no trust, no, only human players, right? No NPC teammates. And yeah, that means that you are going to need help. You're going to have to ask people for help. You are going to have to be social at least a little bit, right? And friendly, preferably. Because if you're just an asshole all the time, then you're pretty much never going to get anything done because no one will play with you. So you have to be mindful of your manners. But that's the core rule with any classic MMO. Oh, Suna, my experiences with Summoner. I mean, the highest I've ever gotten Summoner is like level I got Summoner to 51 on Eden, but like here my Summoner is only level 37, and yeah, so my overall Summoner experience isn't really that comprehensive. But I don't know. I find that it's overall a fairly solid class, like Beastmaster, very versatile, very tough. Well, their avatars are anyway. But yeah, one thing to put Wyvern is that yeah, because there's no NPCs to play with, because the game is overall slower, and a lot of the convenience features that came later are not here by design. Yeah, like overall you have to be much more purposeful in your gameplay, right? Like you kind of have to make a plan for yourself, make personal goals for yourself, because you're not always gonna get to do the thing you necessarily want to do, right? Like you might want to, you know, like, hey, I'd love to do Zalart Mission 14. I need a party for that. I need help with that. Like, so if I can't get that, I'm not doing that, right? So I have to have a plan. I have to have other things, personal goals that I can set for myself and say, okay, if I can't get into this mission that I want, then all right, my other goal, I want to get a level of fishing. I want to get these smaller quests done. I want to get into an EXP party. That's kind of how you have to play this game, right? You have those big goals, but make smaller, more personal goals that you can actually do as a fallback, right? Because you'll probably have to do the fallback stuff more than the main stuff you might want to do. But I think that's kind of the best way to look at it and treat it. Man, I think I got the spawn times on the lizards a little off. They're kind of spawning a little hectically out here. Oh man, we're into the what's an MMO debate, which, hey, I don't know, how do people feel about, like, I mean, if you really want to go down that route, how about stuff like the original Guild Wars, right? Where literally anytime you leave a town, you're basically in a single player instance, right? And also there are NPCs, but I love Guild Wars. Like, Guild Wars is a great game, but to me, while it's a great game, I wouldn't consider that a full-blown MMO, right? But where's the line? You know, what? Yeah, where is the line on any of that? I don't know. I don't know. And yeah, Guild Wars 2 it's a very different game than the first one. Like, the first Guild Wars is, you could honestly just treat it as a single-player adventure RPG. It's quite a different beast, I'd say. But I prefer it. I prefer Guild Wars 1 to Guild Wars 2. But I don't know, man, it's... After now I'm thinking about it, right? I know the question was to someone else, but see, now the cogs in my brain are just thinking about it, and like, what do I really consider to be MMO, right? And yeah, you gotta stop and have a good thunk on it. I think maybe just the word MMO, or the term, I think it's so broad now, it's sort of... It's maybe lost some meaning, I don't know. Alright, here we go. Another round of lizards. Come on, Marble. Come on, Marble! I think we will most definitely get it, right? Most certainly. No question. Oh, wait, did it skip one? I keep losing out on my Whirl Claws. There we go. Alright, like, it flies by so fast, I'll check what I actually got after they're all dead. Alright. So, let's see, I got Yeah, lots of lizard parts, but not what I needed. Yeah, I think, okay, so yeah, let's actually think about it. So an MMO, a massively multiplayer online game, a MOG. But, okay, and, well, see, here's the thing, right? Now you say MMO, but, like, are we going by the more full definition? Because, like, an MMORPG would also imply immersion elements, right? And I guess for me, I go more classic on that, right? So, I guess for me, the massively part would... Okay, let's break it down by acronym, right? So, the massively multiplayer part, for me, what that implies is that I am in a large shared world. There may be spaces of that world that are instanced. There might be private areas of that world, but the world at large is open and everyone is sharing the same spaces. And, you know, players they're all running around in the same world, right? So that's the first part. I think even more modern MMOs, they might instance a lot, but they mostly qualify for that still. Like, they mostly qualify that part. Mostly. And then, I guess that's the massively multiplayer online. That's 3 letters all in one, right? That's 3 letters all in one. So I kind of feel like we have to, now we have to go to the other part of that, the MMORPG, right? And it's a role-playing game. Well, now what does that imply? Well, role-playing game, that's a broad one. For some people, that means immersing in your character and like actual role-playing, like, you know, D&D style. For other people, that just means that you have stats and equipment and general mechanical conventions of an RPG. Both could apply. Again, that applies to most games. And then, I guess the main thing is how all that ties together, right? I don't know, it's hard. Yeah, I think there's different styles of MMO, but I think most things you would call an MMO actually do fit the bill. It's just, it's so broad, you know? And yeah, you could look at it like FF11 and WoW both are just sort of easier, in quotes, versions of an MMO than EverQuest, but I feel like all 3 of those games are trying for very different things, right? That's the thing. Like, they're all kind of going for a different end objective with what they are exactly. But it is actually something very difficult. Look, it's extra hard for me because I'm trying to focus on, like, all right, gotta get these things to respawn, worry about my marble, all that good stuff. But now I'm thinking on it and trying to keep up with what you all are saying too, and it's ooh. But yeah, I guess to me the only things, and I kind of scrolled up a bit, Destiny was mentioned. I think that would fall under the same sort of umbrella as games like Guild Wars 1, where it's, you know, can be a fun, good game in its own right, very fun to play with other people, but you wouldn't really call it an MMO, right? Not in the more traditional sense of the word. I think those are the only games like that where you're literally single player sometimes, or it's just, the structure is just so totally different, right? That, those are easy to separate. But, I don't know, like, classic MMO examples, I don't know. Yeah, your EverQuest, your Ultima, your Anarchy Online, EVE Online, this, World of Warcraft. I'd say all of those are basically they all are basically the same they fit the MMORPG mold, right? They do it in their own way, they have their own quirks, mileage may vary, but they all more or less are that. When you get into more modern games, it can get a little more fuzzy, it can get blurry. Like FF14, technically there is a big open shared world, you know, check that box. There is an economy and all that, check that box. But the game is very heavily instanced. Like anytime you do anything with a party, you're basically going to an instance. And that's where it gets a little more into kind of just co-op territory, right? Rather than MMO. But is it so heavy that it's not an MMO anymore? I don't think so. Like, I think it still qualifies. But yeah, it gets blurry with more modern games. But I think even games like that, they still qualify as an MMORPG. It's just, I would say they still qualify, it's just they're much lighter on certain parts of that acronym, right? But here's a food for thought, right? Because I think everybody always goes to the shared world, to instancing or not instanced. People always go to that sort of stuff first, right? Or sometimes the economy, but here's a factor. And this is maybe an important factor to me, and it's very, very difficult to quantify. I have a hard time just thinking how I want to describe it, actually, if I'm being honest. So here's what it is. Immersion. This would fall under the roleplay part, but it's more about how the RPG meets with the MMO part, right? Because you can play a single-player game and get immersed, right? You can get immersed in something that's even just purely social with no mechanics. Immersion is malleable too, but in an MMORPG, okay. So what I value the most in terms of what I get out of a game, other than the community and all that, it's the immersion, right? It's the idea that whatever character I make, that I have a lot of choice in how that character functions, how that character interacts with the world, how, like, it does kind of fall under roleplay, I guess, but it's not even really about that. It's more about my character and me as a player, you know, how much I can actually interact with this world, how much that means to the world, how much that means to other players in the world, and how it all sort of just gels together and interacts, right? And this is why I say it's really fucking hard to describe, but you might get what I mean as I describe it. A good example is a lot of MMOs, more modern ones, they tend to purposely design the game in a way that other players can't really, like, one player can't ruin another player's experience very well, but also players don't really have as much impact on each other, right? And to me, that lessens that immersion feeling. In this game, for example, I like going out into the wilderness and, I don't know, getting a material, right? Farming some material to make I don't know, I'm an alchemist, right? So I can make sneak oils. So going out, getting the materials, and, you know, hey, there's other people in that shared world while I'm gathering. But, you know, I make some sneak oil. And then that sneak oil, well, I can use it, of course. It's practical, right? But also, I could just sell it. I could sell it to other players who need it for practical reasons, and it kind of creates a web, an ecosystem, where we're all connected in some way, right? Like, everybody is, in some way, even indirectly, having an impact on the players around them. I mean, that's kind of how the real world works, you know? And, I don't know, to me, that is so hard to quantify, but it's very valuable. Like, there's value in that. It stands out to me to have that. Again, very hard, very, very hard to put that one into words. I'm bad with words. So, I'll catch up on everything, but just let me kill these lizards first. I have many a lizard to kill. Alright, come on, Whirl Claws, let's do it. Let's get it done. So, okay, see, they keep just eating my Whirl Claws. Like, it's just not firing off sometimes. Not sure why. But I'm losing a pet command every time that happens. Don't like it. Oh my god! I got it! Slab of Elshimo marble. Alright, I can get the hell out of here now. Okay, so finishing these off, and then get into the chat and everything. But that, oh man, thank God. That could have taken a lot longer. That could have taken so much longer. Alright. So now let me just take a moment here. Let me just have a sit and catch up on things, because I sort of dropped a lot there. Alright, so just kind of, yeah, scrolling back and checking on everything I missed and forming some thoughts about it. Very quiet as I just intensely read. Ooh, okay, it's got a very good one I want to get to, but going through everything. Alright. Okay, so, yeah, I see some points here, but some good ones. One is struggle. Struggle and shared struggle. And okay, so like one of the things that separates your average classic experience of anything apart from a more modern one is modern games, they tend to have optimized all of the inconvenience out, right? They optimize the struggle out of the game, basically. Or if there is a struggle, it's a very artificial one that you can't really do anything about. Time gating would be a big example, right? Like, oh man, I want to get my gear, but I can only get this many tokens per week, and that's a purely artificial struggle. Like, it's not really created through mechanical gameplay. I hate those. But I do think that having shared struggles and shared overcoming those struggles, I mean, that's kind of what Final Fantasy XI is all about. Like, kinda. That's what a lot of old school MMOs are all about. You know, it's, you have things you want to do, but you need help doing them. And yeah, it's a struggle, and it's inconvenient, but overcoming the struggle feels good, and it makes it feel better than if there was no struggle, right? It's kind of why I prefer, like, how things work here over having trusts and faster leveling and more convenient stuff. It's because, you know, just getting anything done feels like an accomplishment. It feels good. It feels, whether I'm in a party or I'm solo, it feels like I overcame a struggle, and that's a feeling that in games you want. You want to feel like you're overcoming something and then mastering it, right? Like, you learn, you challenge, you overcome, and then master, and that's sort of the loop of feel good, right? Feels good. Also, Zuna, the answer is that summoner is all. The answer is yes. Like, depending on what sub-job you use and how you build, I mean, yeah, you can just use a summoner as a healer slash support. They have a lot to offer there, right? Like, sub white mage and make them a proper healer, right? And then the pet buffs can go a long way to aiding that. That's how a lot of people used to play them back in the day, but they are also, like, depending on how you play, they can also be damage, right? It's like red mage, right? Red mage, you can be the main healer, you can be a DPSer, you can do all kinds of crazy shit, right? Like that's sort of how Final Fantasy XI is that yeah, there's a lot of options, a lot of potential. Oh no, I think I'm getting lost in the jungle maze. I do believe I'm getting lost in the jungle maze again. So I gotta find my way back to town. But, yeah, I don't know. Because I even saw Wyvern mentioned it, but yeah, when it comes to struggle where the struggle is artificial, right? Like, artificial caps are not really a struggle. Like, a struggle is something that happens organically, right? A struggle is just, there's a thing I want to do, but I can't, so I need help, right? and then I start, then you struggle to get that help and to overcome the challenge, and that's organic, right? That's an organic struggle. An artificial struggle is just it's artificial, it's created, it's manufactured, and that doesn't feel good, right? Like a time gate is a very manufactured struggle, and you can feel it, and it doesn't feel good. I do think the distinction is important there. Yeah, like, true. I mean, technically, yeah, caps are made so people don't struggle, technically, right? So, like, caps or limits on loot or whatever, it's... For someone who wants to do more, it's a struggle, but it's one that was really fucking intentionally created. And for someone who doesn't want to do more, then it's an easing of the struggles, right? But another thing is just I do hear it a lot that, okay, this particular type of gameplay, right? And it's not just an MMO thing. A lot of older games really required you to put a lot of effort in. I mean, if we can talk, because it's relevant. And I'm also playing it on the weekends. Starflight, right? Nice old space sim adventure from 1989. Even back then, like, it's a game where you have to find clues, right? You have to personally find clues. You have to write down notes. You have to keep track of things. Like, it requires some brain power out of you to actually figure out what to do. A lot of old games were like that, and it's a struggle. But it makes the game so much more captivating to me, right? Like, I'm wasting so much time following up dead-end leads, right? Or just trying to find what to do next, but at the same time, I'm having fun just playing the game, and when I can put two and two together and figure the clues out and find out what I need to do next, it feels great. When I finally stumble on something important, it feels really good. Like, the struggle makes the payoff so much better. And that's just a single-player game example, right? But it's true for anything. If you took all that out and it was just follow the waypoint to the next part of the quest chain, if that was all it was, I probably wouldn't really like the game very much, I probably wouldn't really like it. But that is certainly a type of gameplay that isn't for everyone, and there is the idea that it's very time-consuming to have a game that's more obtuse and more challenging, or just requires you to invest some personal energy into something. But again, you're either down for that or not. But I don't think it necessarily has to be something that is super time-consuming. I really don't. Like, look, there are some days, like on the weekend, right? On the weekend, where I don't stream FF11, I often... Oh, hey, Gathering Point. I often just play Final Fantasy XI. Like, I might hop on for maybe an hour or two, do some fishing or whatever, right? Or do a quick farm somewhere. And I'm getting things done, making progress, and even in those 1 or 2 hours, I can get a lot done. I mean, even if my only plan for today was just to do this one single quest, I'd still be getting things done. So it's just a matter of it being a more overtime payoff, right? Like, especially if you don't have as much time to play, it's a payoff over time instead of just an immediate hit of dopamine injected straight into your brain, right? Like, that's the main difference. Alright, so I think if I go north here, like, I think if I drop down and go north, I think that'll take me to where I want to go. I think. Watch me be so very wrong. So very wrong. We'll see. I guess that's the thing, Pepe, is that, like, again, I played, like, you have to ask, like, what's the limit to that, right? Like, what is the limit to that whole, like, oh no, I'm falling behind thing? Because... Well, let's say that you start a game, like, let's say you start a game like 3 years after it launches. I mean, you're never gonna, you're done. You're already dead, right? you're already a pile of dust in the corner. So don't worry about it, right? But it's also just, I think that unless it's a open PvP game or something, which we're not that's a whole other beast, right? We're talking about cooperative games, not competitive games. So for a cooperative game, I mean, yeah, like who cares? You might start the game late, right? You're never gonna catch up, like no matter what. You know, if you don't have a lot of time to play, you're never going to be as good as someone who really no-lifes it, right? Like these are just things you can't, like even with caps and stuff, you can't fix these things, right? These are human issues. You know, it's like if I practice an instrument every day for like 10 hours for my whole life, yeah, you're not gonna play as good as that person, right? But you know, that's life, right? Like, don't worry about it. You don't have to be. And hey there, VFX. We're having the deep discussions as I just doing a quest here. But yeah, I guess that's one thing. I never worried about that. Like I played EverQuest back in the day during the Ruins of Kunark era up through the Luklin era. The thing is, I started the game like, you know, what, 2 years late, right? Like, so I was already late, you know? No concern, right? There were people at endgame max level, whatever. The thing is, I never got over level 30 in EverQuest, but I had a blast, right? I absolutely loved that game, and I played the hell out of it, and I, like, these weird things, it's all in your head. You know, like this idea of keeping up with the Joneses, but in a fantasy MMO. It's a head game. It's all in your own head, and I don't think we should let that dictate the direction of a game, you know? That's a personal problem. It's a problem a lot of people have, but like at the end of the day, it's just a perception thing, you know? Yeah, the idea of a content cycle wasn't even a thing back in the day. Like, content came out whenever the fuck it was gonna come out, but it wasn't like a lot of games these days where it's kind of a regular cycle where things update and get, you know, higher item level or whatever. Like yeah. I guess that's the thing, like I never worried about rating current content in these games because I never did that in the first place. But even if I did, okay, so I did raid a little bit in EverQuest 2, right? I played EverQuest 2 a lot, and I did raid a little in that. Overall, I just found raiding to not be fun though. So I just didn't, like, even when I could, I did it a few times. Every now and then I'd join in on a raid, but I didn't really like it. That's kind of been my experience with endgame content in most games, is I'll do it every now and then, but I don't really like it. It's usually the least fun part of these games for me. But the thing is, right, is there's always going to be more casual groups, right? This is true both in, you know, both back in the day and in more modern games. There's going to be hardcore players and there's going to be more casual players. The answer is to form a coalition with your fellow casual players to get things done at your own pace. That's always been the answer. Like, both then and now. Right? Like, that's the answer. That's so, like, this isn't some grand problem that you need complex mechanics to fix. It's a social problem. The problem is, you need to communicate with your fellow humans, and you need to form a plan with people, with like-minded people, right? It's just like in this game, right? If you want to play a really off-the-wall combination of jobs, if you want to play the game in a really weird way, but you want to do it with other people, you know, make friends, communicate, and find people with similar ideas and, you know, get together and do your thing, right? That's always been the answer. Like, it's always been the answer. Yeah, the thing is, right, like, look, I tend to solo a lot, too. I always have that problem of not wanting to inconvenience people, a bit of the social anxiety and whatnot, but, I always, like, every time that I've ever asked someone for help, or I've reached out to be like, hey, wanna do this thing, right, it's always made my day better, okay? Like, that's what I'm gonna say, like, I'm a person that stresses about this, but whenever I bother to extend the branch and it's met, my day is better. I have more fun, it's always more enjoyable, it's always worth it. Like, so that's all I can say, right? That's what it is. Like, I think at the core, right? At the core, the main thing, before we turn this in, the main thing that separates an MMO from a lot of other games, like the main thing that separates just an MMO from like a cooperative game, is it's the massive social element. The social element is, I want to say, like, the majority of the gameplay in these games, or at least they should be. And I don't think it's really good to ask developers to, you know, to patch out the socializing part of a social game, you know? I think that's really more on us. We have to communicate with each other, we have to form friend groups, we have to build communities, because no one else is going to, and if the game just, you know, if games just keep changing to be more asocial, like that, that doesn't really fix anything. That's, I don't know, that's my thought, right? That's my thought. And also, if you kind of just want devs to patch out anything where people could be toxic or bad to each other, you're gonna get a game that is really not fun to play. You're gonna border into that territory where, like, I don't know, we can no longer even chat, we can only use, you know, like, imagine if this is all we could do, right? If all we could do is the pre-prescribed, like, auto-translate phrases, because you can't offend anyone with that, but, like, that's what you would get, right, if you go down that dark road. But it would be that with mechanics, too, right? It would be mechanically that, and I don't think anybody wants that, right? Nobody wants that. Yeah, so I don't look on it in a doom and gloom way, but I look at it more as, you know, if we want these kind of more immersive experiences, if we don't want a watered down game, but we also want to get things done and we want to have fun, it really is kind of on us to make that fun with each other, you know? That's it I don't know, to me that's what it is. I have not heard of Palia? I have not. But I do know of a lot of more casual MMOs, and I'm not saying that a more casual experience should not exist. I think it's good if we have lots of different experiences, you know? There should be super casual games that basically play themselves. There should be games that just break you, right? All the games should exist. We should have choices. I'm not a fan of choice being taken away. Look, sometimes I want a super easy game, right? Sometimes, I don't know, I just want to sit down and play Mario or whatever, right? And other times, I don't know, I want to be mentally broken playing Death Trap Dungeon, right? It just depends, but I like that we have options in the matter. You know, that's just me. Oh yeah, well okay, we're on a bit of a thing here. We'll get to this quest eventually, but, so I have played games that they sort of advertise themselves as being more casual, right? This is a nice casual experience for everyone, but they'll often have some mechanics that are really, really non-player friendly. Like, there'll be something that you have to grind with tons of RNG, or, like, there will be something that breaks that mold in a really bad way. And if it's really bad, it'll be something where real money is involved, too, right? Like, you can pay to kind of hand wave it away or something, which is purely by design. Oh man, actually banning players who hoard resources. Not sure I'm for that, but yeah, I think to me that's a little worse though, when a game is advertised as being super casual, but then they throw those little things in there that are worse than even some of the worst old school things, right? That is a very strange territory to me, one I don't like very much. Okay. So the expectation is to share and everything, which I think... See, the problem there is it's expectation on kind of a common human nature. And even when I say make your own fun and make your friends and all that, that's... that's very open to interpretation. That's not demanding any real specific behavior pattern. It's just be social, right? But sharing is a bit of a different matter. That's a very specific ask of people, one that most people are not going to. That's honestly a little against your standard human nature. So yeah, that one's a bit of a weird one. All right. I'm whipping myself into a frenzy, and I need more water. We're going into it. All right, gonna have to crack open a second bottle of water soon. But okay. Let's take a moment from the banter and let's try and turn this quest in. I know I have more to do still, but I got my damn marble. Okay, yes, you need your marble. Here you go. I done the thing. Ah, you have arrived back safely. The goddess has answered my prayers. Now, take that stone back to Sandoria and give it to Master Moulajant, along with this letter. An artisan with his skill should have no problem carving a statue that will move the hearts of the masses. Alright, so yeah, now I gotta go all the way back to Sandoria. Alright, so, well, let me think. Best way to do this. Well, I guess, change classes out, right? Or change subjobs out to Black Mage. Warp back to Juno, and then from there, hit Sandoria. It shouldn't be too hard. So now I guess I have to go to the blacksmith in Sandoria. I have a wiki open to help me out here, but I wonder if I can find the blacksmith. Now, okay, one thing though, and I had this thought, because, I mean, it happens all the time, right? So, okay, thoughts on... In these very social games, you will of course have most players doing their own thing, or maybe forming very small friend groups, but every now and then, you'll have very organized, large groups of players, right? You've all encountered this at least once. The guild of players that kind of... They all move from game to game with each other, and they're very coordinated, and like they can coordinate their efforts in ways that seem superhuman almost, right? To do crazy things and just, circles around whatever everyone else is doing. And like on one hand, I don't know, that is quite an advantage. On the other hand, it's completely an earned advantage, right? Like they earned it, right? They put all that shit together. They coordinate it, so it is earned, but it can really feel bad if you have to, say, go for a quest thing or whatever, and you're competing against that. It can feel very bad, but is it a problem? Is it something that something has to be done about it. I don't know, honestly. That's things like that are where it gets a little hard when you get super coordination on a large scale. Oh man, and also, oh yeah, like, yeah, apps to track things and all that, like, oh yeah, hunts in FF14. Oh man, I remember that mess. I remember a lot of drama around hunts in FF14. Weirdly. But alright, two things. One, check that delivery box. I think I had a bunch of junk up for sale. Oh yeah, I had some beehive chips. When I get around to crafting some slime oil, I'm just gonna buy the beeswax out of laziness. I'll get some of the slime oil myself, but I don't really want to go through the steps of crafting the wax because I don't really get anything out of that. I'm past that skill wise. So I figured, sell the chips, buy the wax. Chips are pretty easy to farm anyway. It's just I don't want to take the time to actually put them together, right? Alright, no, I don't need anything out of my satchel. I need to change my support job to Black Mage. Oh no, my style lock! My precious style lock! Oh no, my ugly actual armor. Oh. Alright. So, warp. It's all about that warp. Oh god, coming back out here is gonna be... But I like to keep my home point in Juno. I honestly just find it's best. Oh hey look, there's a Black Mage burn party going on right now, and my Black Mage is within level range. It's just, it's not really what I want to do at the moment, you know? And Sito, I really want the bone crafting, like the little spectacle shades thing. I really want that. Really want it. But I put off crafting because I'm playing both White Mage and Black Mage, and those spells cost so much, and I need gear and so many expenses. I haven't really wanted to put anything into crafting. No, this is just a very, like, it's just an Illumine Salata. It's very, like, this is very basic armor. This is super basic strength and dex gear. Like, nothing high-end, nothing rare. It's just so that I can do damage, right? It's my DPS set, but nothing special. Again, it's not super cheap either. I mean, this is a couple 100,000 gil between all of it, but it's not, yeah, nothing crazy. Alright, so I think, funny enough, we don't have control of the Ronfar, so we want to go to an outpost that we actually have control over, and that'd be in Norvalen. That'd be Norvalen. Also, hey, I love recognizing people. I remember Restraint. I know I've both seen them around, and I'm pretty sure I've partied with them before. That's what I love about a server like this. Like, this is what it's all about. You'll have people that you run into just out in your casual adventures, and hey, I've seen them before. I've partied with them. I did a mission with them, right? You'll have those moments, and it feels good. Oh yeah, I didn't check to see who's in the top spot. It's a whole new conquest. Let's take a look. Oh man, the Northlands are just all beastmen. Oh no, Sandoria #1, Bastok 2nd, and Windurst is now last. They are now last. Although they do have control over the archipelago, and that's a shame because I really want that outpost. Also, somehow, and I'm not sure how, Windurst has control over every newbie zone. Yeah, like look at that. They own the Sandoria newbie zone. They've got the Bastok newbie zone. Somehow they have every newbie zone, but other than that, they seem to be falling behind a little bit. I feel like it must take quite an effort to swipe a noob zone out from under its own nation, right? Because the areas around the nation states, like new and low-level alt jobs, people are always leveling up out there, so it would take a lot to capture that, right? To go against that grain. But somehow they do it. Ooh, speaking of MMOs, ooh, what do we got? Also, I still don't know. I don't know how I got so fascinated with MMOs in general, but I guess it's that I like immersive games. I'm not a traditional role player, but I mean I like pen and paper, you know. I like me some tabletop games, and that is all social, right? Like there's mechanics, of course, but at the end of the day, it's a social thing. It's all just, you know, a contract between friends, right? So I guess I love the idea of taking that on a larger scale, you know, for immersion. I did play Black Desert for a while. It's one of those very mixed bag games. Like, there's certain things I really like about it. I liked the kind of economic simulation part of it, right? It was actually kind of fun building a network of resource gathering and manufacturing and then selling things off. That part was actually really fun. And the actual combat gameplay wasn't bad. Like, the combat was very snappy. But the overall format of the game just wasn't great. I don't like the open PvP after you pass a certain level. There's a lot about the game I didn't like, and that outweighed the things I liked. Well, Sito, I know. Eventually, one day. It might take years, but eventually we'll get a tabletop game running eventually. It just requires quite a bit of, like, for me, that's a lot of organizing and a lot to keep straight. It's a lot to get going, and it requires a lot of focus. And focus has always been my weak point, always. Alright, so the Blacksmith's Guild is right over here. Yeah. So no wiki's open, but I feel I can find the blacksmith here. I feel it. Oh, Sito. Look, I got my appointments in November, right? We'll see how I feel after that. Hopefully more focused. All right, so this is the one, right? It was an M name. It was an M name. They did name drop them. No, Malajant. Okay. I don't. There's a lot of M names in here. Well, that's a whole separate issue, Wyvern, is games that are very pay to win and also competitive. That is a whole other issue. Like, predatory monetization of games, that's, I mean, it's just sort of the common thing now, unfortunately, but, yeah. Oh, is this... Hold up, is this the guy? This is the guy. I have marble. Oh, you want me to read this letter? Alright, cutscene. My, what a predicament he's got himself into. I wondered why I had not seen much of my friend Rotanot these days, but to think he was traveling around Kazam. Or Kazam, not sure on the pronunciation. This slab of Elshimo marble that he has sent, very interesting. It is. It's perfect for carving a statue of the goddess. With Rotanot out in the wilderness risking his life for the cathedral, trying my hand at this statue is the least I could do. Then let us not waste time and carve a statue worthy of the goddess. Please wait 3 days. We'll see if that's in effect here. We'll see. Also, I still, like, look, for anybody who considers themselves to be both a casual player of the MMOs, but also really likes intricate systems and complexity and depth and immersion, look, I'm never gonna stop recommending City of Heroes, right? Never gonna stop recommending. And also, as much of a mess as PvP was in City of Heroes, and still is, even on private servers now, it can be fun. But I think it can be fun because it is 100% optional. You know, it's just optional zones, right? So it works out. Patience, patience. Now here's the real test. All right, here's the real test. So, if I zone out, if I zone to Port Sandoria and I come back, will the marble be done, or do I actually have to wait until the next day? If I have to actually wait till the next day, then unfortunately this quest will be on hold, and we'll switch over to the Teleport Altepa quest, right? If we can't proceed here. But I need Teleport Altep too, so I'm doing that quest no matter what. Also, Guild Wars 2, I mean, I played it a little bit, and I didn't think it was bad. It's just, I guess this is one of those perspective things, and it's amazing how perspective and expectations can really change how you feel about a game. But here's the thing, right? I don't think Guild Wars 2 is bad or nothing. It's just I came in from Guild Wars 1. I love Guild Wars 1. And Guild Wars 2 is a complete 180. It is a very different, like, it's a different genre of game. And I wasn't really in the mood for that, you know? So yeah, I can go back to Guild Wars 1 any day, right? I love that game, and we'll probably stream it again sometime too. But that game has a place in my heart, all right? Like, I'm not always in the mood for it, but when I am, I really am. Yeah, Guild Wars 1 is like, it's more of a single-player adventure RPG that you can co-op if you want to. That's probably a better way to look at Guild Wars 1. Like, it does have MMO elements, and there are shared world spaces, but it's, yeah, it's more of a co-op game than an MMO. And that's fine, right? It's a very different type of game. Alright, so, did they alter this? Do we have to wait? Let's find out. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! So that quest is gonna be on hold. Alright, I have to come back to him at a later date. I can't get the quest done right now. Unfortunate. So now we move on to the Teleport Altepa quest, and that one I have to look up. That's one I've never done or assisted in doing before. And I think actually we're gonna have to go to some hard places too. I think we're actually gonna have to, like, go to some tricky places for that one. Just because it's more convenient, I'm gonna rest my MP up, warp back to Juno, and do my class changing there. Oh no, time gating, time gating! I mean, look, the time gating in this case, it at least makes sense, right? I just handed this guy a big slab of marble and demanded he make a proper fine piece of art with it. So yeah, that'll take a day, right? Okay, fine. At least it makes sense. It's a reason I can understand. Also, I'm trying to think of what game, like, since there's some PvP talk and everything. I'm not a PvPer. I hate it. Not a fan. I like co-op, not competitive play. And that goes all the way back to playing games on the couch with my friends back in the day, right? Like, playing a game where you're just fighting each other, it was either boring or it was just not fun. It brings out the worst, right? But playing games with each other, you know, that was always fun. And I take that attitude with me even now. Oh, Sito. Look, if you want a proper piece of art, okay, it takes time to make a masterwork. I don't know. I think making, like, it's game days. It's game days. So making you wait a few hours, I don't think that was gonna extend anyone's subscription fee. I don't think that was gonna extend any subscriptions. It's fine. Oh, they're masterworks all. I see. God, I played way too much Dragon's Dogma. That line is just burned in my brain. Like every time you go to buy and sell stuff. Alright, so here's what I want to do now. Change jobs. Support job. White Mage. This is one of those / White Mage times. Because I know for a fact we're going to have to sneak around a lot. And we're going to have to sneak around super goddamn dangerous places. Even as a 75. Potentially. Mainly, I just don't want to have to fight my way through a whole ass dungeon. You know, I'd rather not. I'd rather not. So, okay. Why not? I'm gonna change my appearance because I hate the look of this. I hate it. Okay, so I don't know. Let's go with my standard 75 look. There we go. Yeah, the old Nation Akaton and the Fisherman's Waders, right? Let's go with that one. The fancy look. The I'm on a mission look. Repping Sandy. I am cautiously optimistic and eager about Dragon's Dogma 2. Like, I absolutely loved Dragon's Dogma. I still go back and play it every now and then. Not necessarily to completion, but I just play it every now and then, and it's just a really fun game, and funny enough, even though it's just a single-player game, I consider Dragon's Dogma to be a very immersive game. Like, I really get into it, and I get into the role of the adventurer, right? Of the Arisen. Yeah, it's one of those games you can really just sink a lot of time into, but not because you have to, because you want to. And I'm gonna be straight, I think that's really one of the big differences between a lot of immersive games that, like, good and bad, right? A good immersive game is one where you put thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of hours into, not because you have to, not because of some arbitrary thing, but because you want to, right? That's a good one. Yeah, the overall feel of Dragon's Dogma, you could say it's generic fantasy, but really, not quite. And it knows what it wants to do, and it does it very well. Alright, so for this one, gotta go out to Kuzats. And I do have the old wiki. Got the old wiki right here. Let me just take a quick look at that. So the quest for this one, okay, the one that we can't do for a little while, that one is, the quest is called Missionary Man, which, well, yeah, that's a name. That's the name of a quest. So the next one is called The Missing Piece, and it starts, where does it? It starts in Rebeo, at Alphazar. So we need to make our way to Rebeo. The desert. What level are these goblins? I was out here in one group as a black mage, right? We were trying to remember what level we were. I think 41, but yeah, we were fighting these goblins, and most of them are fine, but every now and then they'll do a bomb toss for like 600 damage and just one-shot someone. Not great. Yeah, the thing is, Wyvern, so, okay, look, I've said before, me and the wife have very different tastes on games. They tend, every now and then, the Venn diagram overlaps, but often we're just totally different. And, like, I feel like she should like Dragon's Dogma, because it certainly has some elements of games she loves. Like, she likes Elder Scrolls games, and she likes Dark Souls. And to me, I always felt the general vibe of Dragon's Dogma is weirdly in between those two things, right? Kind of the adventure, the open adventure elements of an Elder Scrolls, but like, there is a certain dark atmosphere, a dark tone to Dragon's Dogma. You know, it has a bit of that despair in it, right? Like a Dark Souls. And also the game can get hard too, right? It can get very hard and intense sometimes. So for me, like, it's some weird in between, right? And you'd think she'd like that, but she just refuses to play it. She says, "Oh, that looks so generic. Oh, that doesn't look fun." It's like, man, give it a chance. Give it a shot. But look, one trait that we both share very much is we're both very, very stubborn, alright? We get along on that. And yeah, Pepe, I answered that one. I mean, right now, she's just mainlining Monster Hunter World. Like, she's just all in on that right now. Which, I mean, I think Monster Hunter is okay. It's fine. Like, I get enjoyment out of the games, but it's not really my thing. But the thing is, I totally get just taking a quick look at a game and just thinking like, oh, it looks derivative or it looks generic. I do get it, because so here's the thing, right? Dragon's Dogma is a game that it did take me a while to get into. Like, I'm gonna admit, right? Like, it took me a little bit to actually get into the game. It has a start that it didn't really interest me at the beginning, but like, I think by the time that I made my way to, to Gran Soren, and oh yeah, I think like on the way encountered the Griffin, and just kind of getting a little more into it, the game won me over, and eventually I just loved it. But it did take me a while to actually warm up to it. Like, it is one of those games that it kind of has to, you gotta warm to it. Its charm has to rub off on you. It can take a little while, Oh, Sita. And also, Sito, I mean, like, right now, she's, I think, she's a very end-game player of Monster Hunter World, so I'd assume the expansion stuff. But, I don't know, yeah, there's a lot of games that, they're good, but for one reason or another, it might take a while before it actually starts clicking with you, I can think of a lot of games like that. I mean, honestly, Pepe, I have no clue who's behind Dragon's Dogma. I'm not really the type to obsess over the behind-the-scenes stuff most of the time. I do that a little more about film than games, but with games I just tend to take games at face value, unless like certain developers do really stand out in my mind, but usually they're not what you'd call the greats. Like, man, Swery's awesome. Deadly Premonition is one of my favorite games. It's not a good game. But yeah, like I tend to, the ones that stand out to me, they're not necessarily the, you know, masterclass developers. It's the ones that are weird and very interesting. Those are the names that stick out to me. Well, the thing is, I can appreciate everything that went into it. It's just I don't obsess over the names alone, because there's a problem with that, right? Because let's take selling something on name brand recognition alone, man. So you know, that didn't go so great with Ultima and Richard Garriott. We were sold on a lot of things with Shroud of the Avatar. And we were sold pretty much 100% on his name alone, right? See, that's where you can get into dangerous territory with that. So that's why I just take games as they are, and I worry about who made them later, if at all, right? And it's so I don't fall into that trap. Yeah, or getting Peter Molyneux, right? Nah. You don't want that. Goddamn Molyneux. Black and White was still a really good game, though. You gotta admit. Okay, here we go. Here's Alphazar. So this is the second teleport quest that I need for this very, very sandy place. Alright. I am Alphazar, Friar of the Sandoria Cathedral. I've come to study the Altepa Desert and its surroundings. Oh, you don't got a quest for me? Here we go. Until only recently, the monster-infested Koroloka Tunnel has been a barrier between the Kuon continent and Zapwell Island, but with the clearing of the tunnel, I was able to make my way here. On your way to Rebeo, I'm sure you saw the ruins of ages past, half buried in the sand. I have been given the task of investigating those ruins. Several days ago, a researcher I hired brought back an ancient tablet fragment, inscribed with ancient writings. We found it in the expansive quicksand caves that lie beneath the Altepa Desert. This was a major discovery. According to a scholar of ancient literature, the inscription on the tablet appears to be some kind of spell. Unfortunately, with an important part of the tablet broken away, we were unable to decipher the full meaning. I am still undergoing training and do not possess the ability to survive a foray into a place like the Quicksand Cave, and so I turn to you. Doublus! You are highly regarded as an accomplished adventurer. I wish to employ you to venture into the Quicksand Caves and find the remaining ancient tablet fragment. I humbly beg this favor of you. Oh, very humble. Okay, so I should have the quest in my little quest log now, right? Just to make sure I'm on the quest, right? So yeah, we got Missionary Man and then the missing piece. Yeah, there we go. Alright, we are on that quest now. And yeah, Pepe, I'm not saying that a single person makes a game, but there's usually a single person that stands out, or a single person who the majority of the actual direction is taken from, or the writing, or, you know, who's kind of the mastermind behind putting everything together and coordinating everything. There is often just a guy behind that, actually. Especially when you're dealing in more small endeavors, right? Like, especially in the smaller scale. Or at least the smaller budget scale. And, you know, directors of movies, like, yeah, it's not just the director, a lot goes into that, but, you know, often the director is the one that makes it all come together, and that is pretty important. Like it's and this is something that a lot of both movies and games can suffer from, is they have lots of good ideas, lots of things that on paper everything should be great, right? But you gotta tie all that together somehow, right? You gotta tie it together and wrap it up in a nice package with a good presentation and a neat little bow on top, right? And it usually takes one singular person to kind of do that. And yeah, it's not the only thing, right? But it, you know, it does make them stand out. Alright, I probably don't need this chicken, but we're taking the chicken. Alright, so I will need to consult with the dark forces of the wiki on this one, because yeah, I've actually never done this quest. I don't think I've done either of the teleport quests before. I've only done the first 3. So okay, what do I need for this? Where to go? So the fragment, it spawns at one of 5 randomly chosen locations in the quicksand caves. Oh goody, goody. Okay, so to get to the so there's apparently one point that you can reach through a certain map, and then the rest are accessed from a different oh man, this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be real fun. Alright, so this all happens in Eastern Altepa. So first things first, let's get to Eastern Altepa. Let's see where we stand, and which one, like which entrance is closest, and then we're gonna have some work on our hands. And yeah, again, Pepe, it's not, yeah, it's not to say there's, you know, only one person, but there is often one person coordinating everyone. Like, you can't just take a bunch of people and have them do whatever, you know? And does that give the guy who organizes and coordinates, does that give him a little more notoriety and importance? Yeah, but, well, you know, it is actually hard. Like, that's the thing, you know? You can make good stuff, but if you have absolutely no sense for how to make that palatable to other humans, like, it's, you know, it's nothing. Like, you need someone to tie that all together. So it's, yeah, it's not to say that that's all or nothing. Nothing in life is all or nothing, right? We don't deal in black and whites and absolutes. We're not Sith here, right? But it's complex, and yeah, just by the nature of it, someone will stand out. That's all. I mean, look, I wish the janitor got credit, which I swear there's some companies that'll, like, you know, credit to the cleaning staff. That's maybe a bit much, but yeah, it just is what it is, that's all. Alright, so which entrance is closest? Where am I going, exactly? Okay, so the first point is H6. Where's H6 at? H6, so... what? Is that an entrance? Wait, hold on, I might be reading this wrong. Here we go. So you enter from J7. So J7 would be here. I mean, that's pretty close, actually. The other entrance, to reach the other 4 points... Okay, so you enter the quicksand cave... It's all from J7, okay. Then we might not have to deal with some of the higher enemies. The real tough ones, they're down here. It might not be so bad over there. That might not be as bad. We'll see. And also, remember, Pepe, you need good janitorial staff too, alright? Can't have those programmers sitting in their own filth. I love it. I cannot remember what company did this, but yeah, there's one that, like, credited cleaning staff. That always stood out to me. But I don't know. The situation, one way or the other. Yeah, some people don't get the credit they might deserve, but I mean, that's kind of the nature of many professions, just since the dawn of time. That's kind of a very human problem, if you will. Well, I mean, they just eat, look, they eat and drink and sleep caffeine, of course. That's the only thing they consume, right? They have to, because, you know, someone's cracking the whip on them. Alright, so we're down in the caves. Now, where to? I'm assuming it's not going to be that way. I'm assuming it's going to be down here, but let's just check this. Alright, so the fragments. Let me see. So there's spawn points on map 1 and map 2. I assume that we are on map 2 or map 1 right now. So H6, H10, E9. Let me see where that is. So H6, H10, H9. So basically in this corner right here, right, or in this dead end, and then further down here. If I'm reading it correctly, that is. If I'm reading that correct. Okay, so I'm just I'm having a quick look again over everything. Wait, hold up. Okay, so we zone in to L4 on map 1. We are, yeah, we're okay. So this is where we zoned in. Okay. And then we need to fall down at I7. So not on this map then. So not on this one. Okay, this is it's written a little badly. The way that this is formatted, it's a little hard to follow. Okay, so the question mark should be at H6.1 on map. Wait, do I have a map here? Is there a map here I can look at? No. Let me bring up a different wiki then. Let me bring up a different one. The quest is the missing piece. So many wikis to look at. So many options. Okay, here we go. Quicksand Caves, map 1. This one is not detailed at all. They're not, yeah, no details on this at all. Oh no, wait, there are a few. Yeah, there are a few details. Okay, I think I might know where I'm going now. Okay, this one lays it all out much better. Okay, all right. So the way that I looked at the map initially, that was correct. So the first piece could be here. If it's not here, this is a drop-off, so we're gonna have to leave and come back around. So I guess it's best to start with that then, right? I guess. This is one of those games where, I don't know, I don't really feel bad for having to check the wiki constantly, because if you don't, you're gonna miss stuff. You're gonna miss stuff, you're gonna waste time. Not great. I'm trying to click this guy. So far the enemies won't aggro me, but some of them will. So, let's go ahead and... There we go, yeah. Just a little, you know, preventative medicine there. Alright, don't want to fight every single enemy in this cave. Yeah, so here's the drop-off. A couple drop-offs. We're going this way first. If this is wrong, then we get to do a lot of backtracking. You know, let's hope we get lucky on attempt number 1. I'm sure we'll get very, very lucky. I'm sure. Also, I spent a lot of time in these caves. Like back, I think in the 60 range, I spent so much time in this cave killing Antikins. So goddamn much time. Alright, well, it looks like there's no question marks here. Alrighty. So yeah, that means we get to... Yeah, we get to leave and come back. And I don't have... I was looking for flee, but right, I'm a slash white mage right now. I can't flee. What's that? That's not for this quest, right? Like it's not marked as being on the map, but like that's not for this one, right? That's a different, yeah, it's a different question mark. I know that it's mainly limitations, but I really wish that there weren't so many completely invisible objectives in the game. You know, where there is absolutely no visual indicator that there's anything there. You just sort of have to hit the tab button and hope you select something. I wish the game didn't do that as much as it does. Oh boy, yeah, that really puts us out quite a bit. Alright, backtrack in time. So back to J7. Gotta go east again. But, wait, how do I... Ah, here we go. For a second, I was a little worried there was no way out. I mean, hopefully there's a way out. Okay, good. Good. I really shouldn't be surprised at this point. Like, the game loves to pull that, right? It absolutely loves to pull the whole enter into dungeon, it's dangerous, it's long. You need to hit certain points in there, but oh look, you gotta drop down at certain parts, and oh, if you drop down, you can't go back, you gotta go the long way. You gotta loop all the way around and start at the beginning again. The game is all about that design. It's all about it. So I can't really be surprised at this point. And yeah, those dunes are very sharp, I noticed that. Yeah, look, like you could, oh man, you could cut yourself on those polygons. They really should be just a little bit more rounded, just a tiny bit, right? Just a little rounding, a little smoothing. I know this game can do smooth edges. I know it can do it. Look, at any rate, it's better than it's better than the Desert of Ro in the original EverQuest, alright? Those were just triangles, okay? That was just sand triangles. But to be fair, in EverQuest, I mean, everything was triangles, right? Like the player character models were just triangles. The females, they just had triangles. Or no, it wasn't even triangles. That was just a box. It was just like a literal square. Man. Early 3D is great. Man, at some point, since it keeps getting brought up, we really do need to, I don't know, boot up Project 1999 sometime, right? And do a little old school EverQuest. I kind of love doing that. but I want to make a whole new character. Of course, I have my, my wizard, right? Gotta have a doubleless, but I kind of wanted to do something a little more, I don't know, complex. Wizard's not very complex in EverQuest. It's just explode things. It's black mage. I was thinking maybe to try something fun. Might be to try to remake my experience that I had back when I was young as an Ixar necromancer, right? Basically remake my character and try to relive that magic, because it's been ages, right? It would still pretty much be fresh to me. I have not revisited that part of the game since then, so yeah. Ooh, nice. I think my highest character on the Project 1999 servers, I have a bard. So I have a Wood Elf bard that's level 34-ish, I want to say. And that's actually as high as I've ever been in EverQuest. Never been higher level than that. But yeah, I don't know. I really I have a soft spot for mages in that game. And back in the day, I was all about Ixar Necromancer. It was my absolute favorite. I loved how it played, and I loved the actual lore and immersion factor, too. It felt really good just being the most evil bastard on the planet, right? It felt good. Alright, so here we go. Now, before I go dropping down, this is the correct drop down, right? Well, I can see it. I can see it right here. Okay. Let's go in. But I was thinking, yeah, other than kind of remaking my Ixar Necromancer, I don't know, one class that I never really played a lot with EverQuest, but I always wanted to, was Enchanter. Enchanter always just seemed like a lot of fun. And they can do a lot too, and they're good for groups, but really it just seemed like a fun class, you know. Ooh, we got a question mark over here. Now, there's lots of question marks in here. Is this the one? No, it is not. Right, so I assume that in this area, I assume that there's just question marks all over the ground, and you gotta find the right question marks, right? I assume. So I'm just tabbing around, don't see any. And, well, yeah, VGFX, like, Bard is it's a great class in classic EverQuest. It's just also kind of, I don't know, it's, it almost feels cheaty at times, right? It's a little too good sometimes. Alright, before I proceed on, I just want to double check the old wiki and make sure I'm on the right path, right? Okay, so we got to the one point and it was a no-go. So next up, well, I mean, I see the points on the maps, and the drop-down, I think the drop-down is, yeah, I see where the drop-down is. I don't think I have to follow these weirdly convoluted directions. I don't think I have to do that. But what I do need to do is pay attention to the map, because, yeah, there's another question mark to the west. What level are these? Still low 50s. They may or may not aggro me, that's the thing. Obviously I can fight them just fine. It's just, you know, I'd rather not, right? I'd rather not fight my way through everything in here, because you know they aggro, and they aggro hard, so. Like to keep it nice and simple. So there should be another question mark in here somewhere. Like, where are the question marks at? My understanding is that there would be question marks here. Okay. Well, I guess not. I think there's more in here too, right? Like there's more going on in this room. but I don't think there's any more question marks to hit. Yeah. Okay, well, not going down there. Oh yeah, you can fight Titan over there. But no, we're going this way. Going this way, and there's a hole at the end. But I'm trying to, now I'm kind of, my brain is kind of on an EverQuest thing, and, well, man, what classes did I never play back then? But that I wanted to, and just didn't for whatever reason. I don't know, I always liked the idea of the hybrid classes, you know, Shadow Knight and Paladin, like either one. But the thing is that until you hit, I think it's level 7, right? Which is, believe it or not, hitting level 7 does actually take quite a while in EverQuest. So, yeah, because they don't get their spells until level 7, which is that's a D&D holdover. Like in D&D, Paladins, in classic D&D, modern is different, but in classic D&D, Paladins wouldn't get their spells until level 7. Until then, they were just warriors, basically. And it's sort of the same principle with EverQuest, like, yeah, for 7 levels, you're just kind of a really weak warrior, and that's not really very fun to play. Like, it only really comes around once it gets its spells. Alright, nothing here will aggro, and I know there might be aggro when I drop down. We'll see. Alright, re-sneaking. Now, I know there's a little variable when it comes to where the question marks could spawn. Oh, hold up. Yeah, so I guess I need to be really observant about the, you know, the terrain here. Okay, that's a nothing, right? Yep. Also, what are these? I mean, I assume they're cocooned bodies, I assume. But they're ants, not spiders, right? They're ants! Or, wait, maybe it's not cocoons. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they're eggs. No, those are definitely cocoons. Or are they? Are they cocoons? Like, see, that's a skeleton right there. That is a skeleton. But is it, yeah, like, it's hard to tell if they're just mummy wrapped or if that's like a spider cocoon. It's kind of hard to tell. Now, what's over here? More things I'm not sure about. Oh no, the cats have activated. Oh no. The cats are super hungry all of a sudden. The timing on that. Okay, let me find a place where I definitely won't get aggroed. Alright. Because I must tend to their needs. Thought there was gonna be a hole here that I could drop down. Thought there was a hole here. Well. None of these, I don't know, is the sand eater gonna aggro me? I don't know. I feel like I should be alright if I just stand in the corner here. No, Sito. I get that one. But okay, I'm just gonna sit back here in the corner for a bit, because the cats, they demand food. Okay, you can't leave those cats hanging. So, give me 1 sec. Let me put the old AFK up. True, the worms can move, but I have a few seconds of sneak too, or a few minutes. So, all right, I'll try to be quick. I will be right back. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. The cats were being a little difficult this time around. Took me longer than I wanted. The thing is, I can't just give them the food. I have to make sure that they are properly sitting and not, not just going nuts on me. We're trying to train them at least a little bit. But that means that I might be standing there for a little bit trying to get them to do what I want them to do. Alright, so all was good. Now, what I'm not sure on is that supposed to, am I reading the map? I'm reading the map wrong. So the thing is, right, so the wiki has a more complete map than what you see in the game. Like, yeah, right now we're not on the map, right? Like, we are off the map. The wiki has the complete experience, You get the whole picture there. So there's supposed to be like a drop down here though, right? Like definitely here. But I'm not seeing one. What is the NPC? What am I targeting right now? Look, target NPC. What does that mean? Where is the... Oh, hey! Yeah. Oh, the hole is up there, and... I see. So I think that's not supposed to happen. Okay, so yeah, I read that wrong. So how do I get over there? How do I get to the second map? Ah, I see how to get to the second map. I see now. It's all clear. Everything is clear. It's all understood. So right, we have to drop down here, right? So right here we drop down and keep going that way. Wasn't the most obvious. And also, Sito, yeah, I have no illusion that we're going to train these cats to be perfectly behaved and all that. No illusions about that, but the idea is we don't want them to constantly beg, right? To constantly beg and to, like, when we're putting the food out, to paw at our hands or stuff like that. We don't want them to be too aggressive about food, and mostly we've got that under control. Mostly. They've learned not to jump up on us, right? Like, when we go to feed them, we make them sit down, right? They've got that down. Like, they'll sit down and be quiet, not just constantly, squeaking or meowing at us. They've got that part down. So we're getting there. There's no question marks down here, right? No. Oh, see, I can't remember all the Admiral's lines. I can't remember. Alright, so I need to do a double check on the map. Also, yeah, that sneak is going down, and we're going right past a whole group of them. Okay, let's just cower in the corner for a second. No, not protect. Sneak. There we go. Also, I still stand by it, 120%. Getting white mage or red mage, getting them leveled up to sneak and invis level. That's just such a quality of life thing right there. That's big quality of life forever. Alright, so there's 2 things to check out here. We've already hit 3 of them, so they're at both ends of the hallways. So there's 1 to check over here, and 1 to check over here. The way out is also to the east, so we'll hit that one last. Also, Sito, I wonder if you're also looking forward to some Halloween game dungeons. That's always, I gotta be honest, it's like one of the favorite things of the season. It's always a good time. Ooh, hold up, we got, here we go, question mark. Yeah, got it, okay. That's the ancient tablet fragment. Man, I love quests where the objective could just be in a random location, at random times, even. I love that. Alright, so actually if I continue on this path, I think it boots me out to Western Altepa, which, I mean, that would be where I want to go, right? I'm trying to think about what is the quickest here, right? What's the fastest way to get out of here and get to where I need to go? And I mean, that'll boot me to Western Altepa, but where in Western Altepa? If I keep following the path anyway. A little unclear. I'd say if this doesn't pan out, then honestly just I do have my treat staff still, right? I still have my treat staff, so I'll use that to warp out and then just teleport back to Eastern Altepa and take a chocobo. And, you know, that's fine, right? That's fine. Why am I trying? I keep trying to use the menu for this. I don't have to. I have a macro for this. Yeah, there's several quests that go to the quicksand caves, and many involving question marks. I guess here we go. Now, NPC. Alright, so I think, yeah, this will take me back out to the desert. Good. Now, let me just look ahead, right? Let me look ahead in time here. So I reached the thing, and I got it. Alright, so I just have to go back to Alphasar now. That's, also hold up in my... Hope I'm going the right way to get out. I hope. I think this is as close as it gets to a proper cactar. I could be wrong about that, but I think in this game, I think the Sabotenders, I think this is as close as it gets. I don't think I've seen like a cactar in this game. I think I might be going the wrong way. There's two ways this can go, and I think I went the wrong one. There are no cactars, but they... Hey, Senor Sabotender, right? That's second best. I don't know how cactars just became like a sort of iconic thing about Final Fantasy, right? Like Moogles, Chocobos, Cactar. It could have been anything, but you know, that's how it went. Alright, so hopefully we're going up now, so I'm hoping that takes me out of this place. Yeah. Alright, so I exit out there, and now I'm... this isn't really very close to Rebeo. Oh wait, shit, is there a way out of here? Oh crap, there's no way out of here. Okay, I see. So, yeah, there's no easy way to get back, I don't think. That is very unfortunate. Yeah, that just goes back in, right? I mean, maybe not, but I think it just goes back in, because there's an exit there, but Does this just go back into the quicksand caves? I feel like it might. Maybe not. Maybe not. I still need sneak here. I wasn't actually sure about the first appearance of the Cactar and all that. But... because I know they weren't in the very early games. Oh no, the pronunciation. I don't know. I always say Cactar. That's how I say it. Though, while we're talking about iconic Final Fantasy things, I kind of miss the real old school look of Moogles. I mean, this game kind of, I think it kind of has it, right? But, you know, the old school Moogles, like back in, I guess by Japanese numbering, it'd be like FF4 and 6. But those Moogles, I always felt like they had a bit of a, like, not just in the game, but also in the artwork, right? Because as I think about it, I'm not even sure that Moogles were in FF4, but they were prominent with the box art. But either way, there was a bit of a sinister look to them, right? Like, yeah, they had the cute fuzzy thing, but also a bit of a sinister edge to them as well. And they kind of lost the dark undertone look. They lost that as time went on. I mean, it's well, Sito, when you get into that argument, it's kind of like, you know, so let's see. I'm trying to think of words that really... Okay, so yeah, fear and bear pronounced exactly the same, right? No. Like, they should be, right? Like, if we go by the spelling, but... So yeah, I don't know, right? And also, I mean, wait, isn't the correct way to say it like a jaguar? That's the... Isn't that... I've heard that one. Or a jaguar. I've heard that pronouncing too. I don't know words anymore, alright? Words have no meaning to me anymore. I've transcended beyond them. And yeah, I mean, I know that like there's reasons behind the look changes, but I guess, and this is something you could do no matter what, right? But I don't know, I feel like Moogles, they don't really have the dark undertones that they used to. To me, that was always part of the appeal. But I'm trying hard to think when they kind of lost that. I feel like Final Fantasy Tactics Advance around then, right? Because Moogles were in that, and then FF12 as well, right? But, yeah, I think that's when they just dropped the edge part. I don't know, I guess for me there's a certain, I don't know, there's a certain comfort in things looking like what you expect them to look like. You know, for me that's very comforting. It's why I really do like the aesthetics of Final Fantasy XI. Right? And for me, the reason I like it so much is because it feels very classic Final Fantasy in most ways. Like, there's a lot that kind of harkens back to imagery from, like, the Super Nintendo games, even. Except now in a 3D space, right? And I really like that. It's comfy, you know? It's nice and comfy. Also, I feel that if you change the look of something so significantly that it's basically a totally different thing, I mean, at that point, just make it something new, right? And just make something new at that point. But that's a whole other problem. You could call that the sequel problem. You know, like if the sequels to something, if they go so far off the rails from the original intention, I mean, you might as well just make something new, right? It'd probably come out better. But then you wouldn't have name brand recognition. I don't know. I guess I kind of wish that with modern Final Fantasy that I wish they'd just kind of return, right? Return to primitive times, just because at this point it's so far off the rails from how the originals went that, like, going back to form would actually be like, hey, that would be subverting expectations, right? That would be keeping it fresh at this point, when there's a whole generation that doesn't even, you know, they don't even know anything about the older ones. That said, the moment they turned Shiva into a motorcycle, I kind of learned that Final Fantasy, it's not the Final Fantasy I grew up with. It's its own thing, and that's okay. But I don't think it's for me. I don't really remember that much about 12, if I'm being honest. I don't remember hating it or anything. It's just the thing is, Final Fantasy 12, it just felt overall very forgettable to me. Like, nothing stood out. And that's not bad, it's just, like, I forgot about the game a week after I stopped playing it. Which isn't, like, that's not how the older Final Fantasies were, right? Like, I mean, I'll still rant and rave about the junction system in Final Fantasy VIII and how much I love it. and all the things, right, about 8 I could go into. And even the older ones, the Super Nintendo ones, and what drew me to those, and they really stand out in my memory to this day. I cannot remember shit about 12. Like, I might as well not have even played it, because I don't remember anything. There's just there's like a big black hole where that should be in my brain. And, I mean, that doesn't mean it's bad, it just means, like, yeah, I guess it didn't really stand out in any special way, at least not to me. Yeah, 12 had that, yeah, a European medieval style. I remember that much. I don't, and look, I'm not the type that needs my Final Fantasy to be literal fantasy. I love 8, right? But there's lots of things about 8 that feel very classic, even if it has a more contemporary, you know, world to it, right? It's about more than just the setting. It's a lot of aesthetic choices that kind of come together, right? The look, the feel, the sound effects even, little menu blips and bloops. All of those things, it's part of feeling like that old thing I know, right? But yeah, I don't know. To me, 12 just didn't stand out. And the characters didn't stand out either. I can't even remember the characters. So, again, maybe it's just me, could be, but it just, I don't know, 12 didn't do it for me. At some point, maybe I'll go back and replay it. Like, maybe it was just bad timing, right? Could have been that. True, yeah, the older Final Fantasies, they definitely have a style to them, like an actual style. And that style stands out. The more realistic games, I mean, think about it, right? When you play a game that looks relatively realistic, the visuals don't really stand out to you, you know? It just is, right? But when something is very stylized in one way or another, that stands out. It stands out as a visual flair and aesthetic choice. Oh yeah, Fran, I do. That's like the one character I remember, because that was the sexy bunny that everybody loved, right? But other than that, I can't remember any of the characters. Like, none. Alright, let me turn in my fragment. Or, it's a physical item, right? Or is it? Is it a key item? No, it's a key item, so he should just take it from me, right? Okay, there we go. I have to talk to him twice every time. Alright, yes, this is without a doubt the ancient tablet fragment. Please, take the completed... Wait, take the completed... something, and this letter of introduction. Oh, typos. With these in your possession, go and meet with Charlemagnet on the lower level of the Sandoria Cathedral. So now I get to go back to Sandoria. Here's the good thing. The next part of the first quest that we went on, I think I can actually... I think I can get the statue now, maybe. And also... Yeah, it's all in Sandoria, right? Like, we can get this wrapped up in Sandoria, get that taken care of, too. We can get a lot taken care of all at once. Alright, so switch jobs over to Black Mage. Well, support job Black Mage. I guess... well, I was just thinking, like, I don't know, do I want to just change out to Black Mage entirely? I mean, what else am I doing, right? Ah, hell, why not, right? Why not? I think I'm done with the dangerous parts of all of this, so yeah, let's switch to Black Mage main Ninja secondary, which is my sub of choice for Black Mage, so that I can go nuts and tank it too. Like, going nuts and losing control of aggro, that's bad unless you can take it. If you can take it, then it's working as intended. That's my philosophy. So yeah, I sub Ninja, use that Utsasemi, and I fucking tank it out when I get aggro. And that's how I like to play. Alright, so I have a specific ninja look. Yeah, here we go. Alright, there we go. That's my battle Black Mage ninja look. Okay. Because fashion is half the battle. It's Final Fantasy. Alright, warping. Also, Zuna, it's not that the character, like, the reason Fran sticks out, I mean, the thing is, right, it's not like, I know some people, they tend to look at fantasy like, oh, if you're not, if you're not a rainbow-haired blue fish thing / unicorn, you don't stand out. Like, to me, some of my favorite fantasy is one that's low fantasy, where everyone is just human and it's basically just medieval, right? Except with magic. That's some of my favorite fantasy, and some of the most interesting characters can pop out of that. But see, that's the thing, you gotta have interesting characters. You have to have characters that are unique in personality, and it is yes possible to be unique in appearance without going completely alien, right? But it's harder, right? It requires a more skilled hand of a creator to pull that off, and yeah, a lot can't, right? A lot can't. But to me, the characters of Final Fantasy XII, they, like, personality-wise, none of them stood out at all, like in any way, none. And really, Fran, I think Fran stood out a little in terms of personality, but mainly it was the looks that stood out, right? At least for me. Again, I was not very invested in FF12 when I played it. Maybe if I go back and play it again, I might, it's a different time, an older set of eyes, maybe I can look back on it and I can play it through again more favorably. I don't know, but I just didn't get anything out of any of it the first time around. Sito, man, I don't know. I guess like I don't know what defines a steampunk look. I struggle to think what defines an actual steampunk look if you don't have literal cogs and gears in there. I don't know. And yeah, Zuna, again, I wouldn't, I didn't say like bad personality or anything like that. It's just none that really stood out. That's all. I think a lot of people, when you say something doesn't stand out, you tend to think bad. No, yeah, something can not stand out but be good or fun. It's just, if it doesn't stand out, it just doesn't linger in your memory, and you don't, you don't think about it after the fact, right? And to be fair, that's probably most things in life. They just kind of delete from your memory the moment you're not looking at it. That's about it. And yeah, look, I think I played way too much Final Fantasy XIV, and that kind of got me in the habit of really enjoying fashion in my MMOs. Before that, I didn't care about it as much, although I did, I do like fashion. I like putting a good look together. Like, look at this guy, look at that shit. That is a mighty fine chest piece right there. And overall, look, he's got a good look going on right there, right? Good look overall. Very nice. I think it's important, it's part of visually standing out, right? So I value a good costume. Man, I think I just have to go back and look at Final Fantasy XII again. Like, I need to play it again sometime, because I don't remember anything being bad. It's just I really don't remember anything standing out. But it's been a very long time. Sita. Also, I just like John Rhys Davies in Sliders. That's all I need. I mean, this look, I got it, it's part of the, so, the bottom parts are easy, right? Like, the bottom, that's just fishing pants, that's the fisherman's boots, like the Guild Point fisherman's boots, and then the top part there that's just a summer bikini. Like, you get it for the summer event, right? So, summer event's over, so I guess can't get that until next year, right? Man. I hate time-sensitive, time-sensitive rewards and time-sensitive costumes. I hate that, but I got it while I could, right? I grabbed that while I could. There's more pieces to that, too. Like, there's, let's see. Yeah, there's, the Hume top. So, yeah, that's, like, it's not just a red version, it's a different style, but I like this style better. And then there's bikini pants for it, too, but, I like to make it look normal, like a normal armor. Yeah. Mix and match. Alright, see you later, Zuna. Okay, so can I get my statue now? Statue? Oh, patience. Okay. I think I might have to wait more than one day. Oh, Sito. I don't know, when it comes to steampunk, a lot of people are under the consensus that what that means is, like, cogs and gears and big goggles and, I don't know, lots of clocks. Just throw a whole clock on there. A pocket watch or something, I don't know. And to generally have sort of, kind of Victorian style clothing, but with all the cogs and gears and shit on it, right? That's like a generic steampunk 101. So there's no gears here, so I don't know, it just looks like clothing to me. Alright, so the cathedral. Now they told me who to take this to, but I'm terribly unobservant. Charlemagnet. Okay. And hey there, Volk. No, this is Horizon. We're on Horizon. Eden's a fine place, but, no, Horizon. Alright, so he's on the first floor, right? Ugh, elf names everywhere. Oh, no, I'm not seeing anyone here. Not seeing it. They said he was on the first floor, right? Or did they say, actually? Hold up. Yeah, did they say where he is, exactly? Yeah, it says he's on the lower level of the cathedral, so he should be down here somewhere. Well, there's a lot of NPCs down here, so I gotta... Oh, there he is. Oh, when they said lower, they meant real lower. Gotcha. I mean, I'm not sure how many people are on right now. Like, let me check something real quick. I know they'll tell you in the launcher, but I forget if they tell you just... Okay, so right now, and I mean, look, it's like almost 3 p.m. for me, right? EU, Germany time. So not the, like, this is not peak hours. This is the off hours right now. There are currently 1,116 players online. And this server does not allow multi-boxing, so those are 1,116 unique logins. Not like alts. So, yeah. During more standard NA hours, there's usually well over twice that. There's plenty of people to play with, in other words, if you want to. And if you play a class that, you know, people need. As a humble black mage, I am often thirsting for a party for quite a while. But if I switch to white mage, I'll get a party before I even leave my Mog house. Alright, so, I got the things. Alright, yeah, he's Charlemagnet. I got stuff for you. Ah, you must be the adventurer, Doubleus. I have recently received correspondence from Alphasar. I believe you have a letter and a tablet of ancient magic for me. As Alphasar reported in his letter, ancient magic is engraved upon this tablet. However, I will need more time to decipher all the text. I still cannot tell what magic this spell is for. Please return another day and I shall share with you what I have found. May Altana's providence guide you on your journey. Yeah, praise be the maker and all that. I mean, like, okay, well, let me see. Again, I don't want to put Eden down, but, like, let me just look up how many people are on Eden right now. So, HorizonXI, and they usually show it on their website. So, right now there are 201 characters logged into Eden, and they allow multi-boxing, so, maybe half that are actually, like, human. So, yeah. Yeah. I used to play on Eden, and I think it's fine. It's just, I like the ambition of Horizon better. This is not just 2005 era FF11. They have their own game design document, right? They've got their own plans. But the thing is, I think, you know, there are other servers that do the more traditional thing. I'm ready for something a little different. That's my thoughts. Alright, so he's not gonna just give me the thing now. Yeah, please return another day. And see, I'm okay with this because it's not critical. Like, I don't need my scroll of teleport right now, right? I don't need it now, it's fine. It is a superfluous spell. I'm okay with the time gating in this aspect. Well, so my understanding is okay, right now we're in Chains of Promathia. They intend on launching the next expansion soonish, no exact date, but they do plan to eventually go through all the expansions. However, the idea is to keep the actual feeling of the game classic, so keep it level 75, right? So level 75, more classic gameplay, none of the super convenient stuff, no trust, but still get all the content out there eventually. That's the idea. I mean, so far, what I wanted was a classic experience, but not quite as much suffering as actual classic, and this is doing a very good job of that. But it's not just about that. I think what you have to realize is Horizon is not just about emulating old school Final Fantasy XI, it's about doing something new with it. It's about taking it in a different direction. There are a lot of custom changes to improve gameplay and to change things up. And that is, for me, that all plays out better, but if you're just die-hard wanting to time travel, like if you just want a time machine, it's not that. This is not a time machine. I'm sorry. But other than that, if you're down for change, it's a good experience. Good community. I like it. I think Eden does a better job at being a time machine, but the problem is, again, not enough people to enjoy it with. Alright, so I have 2 quests now that I have to wait for them to complete. So, I mean, I guess I'll just let them cook for now, right? I'll leave them in the oven for now. We'll come back to that later, I guess. So, let's warp back to Juno. Well, I mean, you are gonna get most of the original FF11 experience. You are gonna get a lot of that. It's good for that. Like, I didn't play the game as much as I wanted to back in the day, so I'm going through the main story and everything blind. As much of it is here, right? Like, you know, I'm getting my Promathia missions done, Zalart missions, the Nation missions. I'm doing all that the first time. And it overall feels pretty good, and it feels like I got lots of people to enjoy it with, too. Very, very healthy community. But yeah, the changes, some people, they're very specific about how they want to enjoy the game, so yeah. Some of them, they don't like the changes. Also, I really like this armor right here. With the lance, I take it they're a dragoon, but yeah, like that. Oh, they've got the bone crafting spectacles. I think those are the bone crafting spectacles. I think. Could be the goldsmithing ones, but they're all spectacles. That's what I want for my character. But yeah. Overall, it's a good time here. Good time here. And also, I mean, if you just kind of want different MMOs, interesting ones, we do play more than FF11 here, so you might find something you like. I still highly recommend City of Heroes. Highly recommend. Good private server cluster for that. I mean, overused? I don't know. Like, the thing is that, like, there's thousands of people on this server. There's all the everything, right? It's like getting on a World of Warcraft server. Like, there's hundreds of everything. Don't worry about not being unique, right? You can't. Like there's a healthy enough player base that there's something of everything. But like, I don't know, as a black mage, I get lots of play in parties. It's fun. I like it. But everything is pretty well balanced here. And they're constantly in the process of balancing it too. My main is Beastmaster. I got that at 75, but I wanted to play something a little more party friendly. So Black Mage is my party friendly DPS of choice. My real party class is of course White Mage though, because well, White Mage. But yeah. I mean, okay, so role-wise, right? Role-wise, there does seem to be a lack of healers and tanks. It depends on which one is more lacking, but healers and tanks are both in very high demand. So, you know, Paladin, Ninja, Warrior for tank. And then... Or, I mean, other things can tank too, but that's like the main ones. And then healer, white mage, or red mage, or summoner white mage if you want to make that work. or, you know, whatever, right? But healers and tanks, that's what's in demand. Yeah, ninja tanks pretty well. I mean, red mage, I don't know. Like, the thing is, I wanted something different out of red mage. I wanted to be a swashbuckling wizard, and it's only really that when you're solo. In a party, most people just wanted me to be the healer. They just wanted a white mage, basically. And that wasn't for me, but I mean, it's fine. You'll get groups. And red mage is a strong class when you do BCNMs or whatever else. Like, part of Horizon and what they're doing here is they are trying to bring balance to everything and to make everything viable, and even to make some alternate playstyles viable too. Like being a Beastmaster with a scythe is actually much better here than it was in the actual game. So yeah, it's like, you don't have to worry about playing a useless class. That's not a problem here. Play what you want to play, right? You know, play the game how you want. Even if you are thief number 587, you will still get parties because there's lots of people to play with here. Again, it's like getting on a World of Warcraft server that's got 10,000 people and being like, oh man, I'm only paladin number 2,000. It's like, yeah, there's, you know, you're gonna get a group because there's so many people. I mean, that's kind of how I do it. Like, look, I'm a black mage ninja, and the way that I play is I go fucking crazy, get aggro, and then I just tank it, and it actually works. Like, it legit works. Like, I tank with a mix of Utsasemi and shock spikes. Shock spikes actually has a very high chance to stun when an enemy hits you. So, like, when Utsasemi breaks, they hit me, and then they get stunned for a couple of seconds, and then I just reapply Utsasemi and rinse, wash, repeat, right? Like, it actually works really well. It's not necessarily ideal, but it works. When I'm over level 50 though, I'll probably switch my sub to Summoner just because I want, you know, I want that good MP regeneration, right? And also there are, like, the Summoner buffs are actually pretty good in a party. Like, being able to Blink-Ga would be pretty nice. Or being able to Rolling Thunder, my god, being able to Rolling Thunder the party, oh man. Yeah, I've actually seen a couple, like, Galka battle white mages. I've seen a few. I've partied with them. It's actually pretty awesome. Like, you know, Kiraga and tank, no problem. So, what I'd say is, overall, when it comes to balance, this, like, they've done some things that make a lot more playstyles viable here, without breaking the classic feel of the game. But for me, I mean, one of the big things that makes mages so much more tolerable to me, especially black mage, is they've really upped the rate of recovery. Like, so like normally, as an example, you would, so like normal FF11, when you rest, you'd heal like 11 MP and then +1 every 10 seconds, right? So 11, then 12, then 13. On this server, it's like 11, then +4. So 11, then 15, then... And then it keeps multiplying, right? Like it keeps, you know, +4, then +8, then +12. Like, so if you rest just a few, like just a minute, you'll get your full MP bar back. Like, you don't have to sit on your ass forever as a mage anymore. It's still slow, and you still want to manage your MP, but you're not just out of commission if you run out of MP. And I really like that. Also, they highly upped the accuracy and damage of spells on a magic burst. So when a magic burst happens, like when a skill chain happens and you set up a burst, you almost always will successfully hit without getting resisted, and you'll do a ton of damage. Like, I mean, kill the enemy in 2 spells kind of damage sometimes. Like, they've made Black Mage so much more fun to play. Like, I've had Magic Burst set up for me where I crank out like even lower level than I am now, and I just crank out 1,000 damage, and yeah, I'm tanking after that, but it's worth it. But yeah, I'd say the thing is, the community is fairly relaxed. There's a lot of balanced stuff going on here to make the game overall more fun, and to make a lot of classes and sub-job combos more viable than they would have been. Like, Slash Thief is one of those sub-jobs that was always kind of meh, but that, you know, a lot of people wanted to do. Slash Thief feels so much better here. Like, I go Beastmaster Thief, and yeah, they gave Thief triple attack at level 30, so when you're level 60 plus, you'll have triple attack, and it'll proc fairly frequently. And man, does that feel good. Like, that feels great. So overall, my experience here is that the game, it still feels very classic, but it feels like they've made some nice changes that overall encourage a more diverse range of playstyles. That's how I'd put it. That's a good way to put it. Ugh, alright, so let's see. I have 2 quests cooking up, but I can't really do anything with those quests because, well, yeah, I have to wait. It's just a waiting game at this point. There is more I would certainly like to do. There certainly is. However, I actually intend on doing... I would go grind mobs. I would. I mean, I did that a lot last time, right? I've been grinding a lot of mobs on stream because I've been grinding for my black mage spells, right? Like, I actually went to Beadu as a 75 Beastmaster, and I, both on and off stream, I've been grinding up a lot of Black Mage spells there. Like, those, I think I've saved myself almost 400,000 gil in spells, right? Just getting them off Quadav. I'm totally going back there and just farming for cash, right? I'm doing that too, but I done a lot of grinding. I wanted to do some questing today, but yeah, I'm in a bit of a stuck place with that. I mean, I could just, let's see. I don't want to, I don't know. I don't want to go too much longer because I also have another stream to do later tonight. Because we missed our Sunday spooky stream, and I want to finish a game, right? We started something and I want to finish it. So, we're going to have another stream later tonight with just, you know, with Bad Mojo. Halloween game. But, so I don't want to burn myself out now. That's another thing. What I'll say is, hey, we'll be back again tomorrow. Alright, I'm gonna be doing Final Fantasy XI again tomorrow, so, you know, come on by then, right? Or check out some of the others. There's a lot of FF11 streamers, or Horizon specific. There's a lot of Horizon specific streamers. I know I saw Vin around here somewhere, and I'm sure there's others lurking about. But either way, we'll be back again tomorrow. Today, though, I need to save my voice, because we're doing more stream later, alright? I'm very sorry that we started late, too, but life stuff's been coming up. Ugh, anyway. So, we didn't really maybe get a whole lot done today. I mean, technically, I'm just waiting on 2 quests to complete. So technically, I got 2 quests done. I got them as done as I could, right? I'll grab those. I'll grab them off stream because I really want to be able to teleport. But yeah, for now, I'm probably still gonna hang around. Actually, it's just I need to save my voice for tonight. All right, I'm already feeling a little raspy, so I need to just chill that. But I'll still be playing, actually. I'm gonna hang around, maybe play my Black Mage, or I might switch out to White Mage. So I will still play, but stream for now is done. All right, I'll see you all tomorrow for Final Fantasy, or you know, later tonight if you want to watch a game about being a cockroach, yeah, and crawling around a filthy New York apartment. Then, you know, I'll see you later tonight. Oh, also, before I get out of here, I just noticed, because I just tabbed out and I'm looking at the stream and also the dashboard, and, oh man, I noticed over 900 followers. I feel like that number's gone up very quickly. Like, a lot more regulars in here, which I love to see. Because I absolutely love back and forthing with all of you. Like, that's my favorite part, okay? I absolutely love to have way too in-depth nerd-outs with everyone. Best part of the day. And Volk, it's Bad Mojo is what we'll be playing. It's technically, no, it's not a cockroach simulator. It's technically an adventure game, but it is basically just being a cockroach. Ugh. All right, so with all that, I guess now we gotta push for 1,000. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your dog to tune in. Tune in 5 times. Okay, so I'll see you guys later, or tonight. Till then, I really need to drink water and chill, so see you later.